Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, Season 2, Episode 57. We got a special episode for you guys today because there's technically a little bit of a contest going on over a hypothetical Nintendo Direct. We're going to go over our own bingo cards later and have our discussions and all of that, but there'll be a contest for you guys to enter if you want. Again, it's a hypothetical contest at the moment because until there's a Direct announced, what are you going to win with your bingo card? I don't know. Maybe something, maybe nothing. There's a community post up if you want more information. I will, at some point during this direct, drop an email for you guys to submit your stuff to. Is someone's? I know what's going on. I will fix it. All right. That being said, we're going to start our podcast off the way we do every single time, introducing ourselves and what have we been playing lately. Let's start with Eric Moore.
Yeah.
What do you got going on? What have you been playing lately?
I'm here. I actually haven't played anything this week, unfortunately. Just crazy busy, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
It does sound like there's a lawnmower like in the next room.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Give me a moment, please. You have to give me a moment. You can just keep talking.
Yeah. No, that's all I got. I haven't played anything this week. I'm totally a gamer.
Maybe farming simulator in real life since there's a lawnmower.
Yeah.
I think I gotta fix it. I just had to turn on all the filters and everything. I think we're good. I don't know who it was coming from. So, all right, cool. HMK
was good. I've been playing a lot of Tekken 8 lately, like a lot of Tekken 8. Man, game's really good. I'm doing a lot better online on ranked than I expected to, but you know they didn't touch my goat Lily, so I'm chilling. So that's what I've been playing. I've been playing that and Tears of the Kingdom like a lot. I'm just trying to like 100% everything. So Tekken 8, Tears of the Kingdom.
Sick.
That's what I've been playing.
Hell yeah. Coming back for the first time in I think almost a year, Super Metal Dave. How's it going?
What's up? Going good. Yeah, I've been playing Tekken 8 also. I'm addicted to it. My mains right now are Victor and Dragunov.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really hard hitting characters, but like really easy.
Sorry, what was the second one's name?
Dragunov.
Oh, I heard something else.
Right.
But yeah. Victor is really easy to learn for new players, and he's just really flashy and awesome. Just a fantastic game, one of the best fighting games I've ever played. Like already, it's just so good.
I've seen a lot of Victors like in the early parts of ranked, and I'm like, man, get out of here. But then I don't see him as much up the ladder.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a really fun game. So like, I'm a fighting game, I guess, casual player. So if you want to jump in and play, just like go with him, or you can go with some other characters too. But it's a really, really fun game. So it's like a 10 out of 10. I think it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, wow. How do I feel about Soul Calibur 2?
Man, I'm so mad that Soul Calibur is dead again, bro. I need to come back like now. Everyone wants weapon fighters to be in Tekken. I'm like, where were y'all when Soul Calibur 6 was out?
Yeah,
it's all about that dollar, man.
It's just been on my mind lately because we had the whole GameCube trademarks. I was like, man, you know, if NSO came back, that would be like, you know, with Link in there, like that would be like an ideal like GameCube NSO on Switch 2 someday. So,
right?
Yeah. Or I mean,
Yeah,
heck,
there's no like
Switch 2
fighter.
could get a new Soul Calibur. That would be nice.
Yeah, on the Switch, there's no like real like big fighter besides Smash Brothers. They got the terrible Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, there's Dragon Ball Fighters actually. It's a pretty good port. Like it looks. I had it on PS4, and then I got it with all the DLC on Switch, and it looks like the same game.
I mean like
Pokken Tournament. Come on.
What?
Pokken Tournament?
Oh yeah.
Pokken?
Arms? Pokken, you're right. You're right.
I'm just.
Oh,
kidding.
it's Pokken. It's Pokken.
It's Pokken. I'm messing with you.
It's Pokken.
Is it like supposed to be like Pokemon mixed with Tekken? Is that
Right,
like
so
Pokken. So like Poke, Tekken, Pokken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I guess you could argue Pekken, but there's an O.
What is okay?
We're off to a great start.
I'm gonna go ahead and
One thing too. Also, on my vacation, I got to go to the famous Galloping Ghost Arcade, in Illinois. Have you guys ever been there?
No, but now I'm interested.
It's the world's largest arcade, and it has over 1,000
Wait, really?
arcade machines.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you look at the Galloping Ghost arcade,
arcade,
Galloping.
and I've never been there, but it's one. It must just be one of them. in New Hampshire. I think it's the one that like Billy Mitchell allegedly broke a record on back in the day.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the
There
same
is a
one or not.
lot of cabinets here. Whoa.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. So like, and I was on my vacation just a few weeks ago, and I
Where
went
in
there,
Illinois is it?
with
Is it
some
like
friends.
close to
Chicago. Yes, in
What? And
Chicago.
it's just a flat fee. So it's like a buffet for games.
Yeah, you pay an
Yeah.
admission
That's
fee, and all games are
what?
set to free, and it's over 918 cabinets.
Yeah,
That is insane.
Yeah, that's kind of like the one here.
That's
They
crazy.
charge a fee too.
I mean, it makes
How
sense.
was it, man?
as long
What
as
was
you
your
get a
favorite game
good
that you
track.
played in there?
it's awesome. I mean, they just have all the old classics there. They even had Mortal Kombat 1, like the console version, like made up in an arcade cabinet. They had so many games to play. Bunch of light gun shooters. I played Alien versus Predator, House
I
of the
remember
Dead.
that one.
They even had the original X-Men arcade game where it's a versus game, like the fighters, because a lot of people don't remember those games where before Marvel vs. Capcom, they had their own individual games. So that Marvel superheroes,
Children of the Atom, X-Men.
Children of the Atom, yeah, exactly. X-Men, Children of the
see
Atom,
what all
Marvel
this.
superheroes, and then Capcom versus SNK. All the games are there. All the
You need to
Tekkens.
get Carl Jobs on the podcast because the one near me in New Hampshire says we are the largest arcade in the world today.
That sounds like a competition.
But
Oh, okay. Well,
I think they might mean by size because they say we offer over 600, and you said 900, but they also
Yeah,
have
they
a
have a
20
list
lane
right
bowling
here.
alley and an 18-hole indoor mini golf. So maybe they're counting like size.
Yeah, probably like square
And
foot.
you
updated
guys are
numbers, it's
counting-
closer to 1,000 now for the one in Illinois.
Yeah. Look at this guy, man. He's full of shit. This old timer, largest arcade. Get out of
968
here.
games.
He
Would you
wants
say
you to
it's a balance
spend
of
money.
a good balance of new and old? I mean, obviously there's gonna be a lot of retro stuff, but like, is there like any new stuff too?
Well, that's the thing though. Like they have Mortal Kombat 1 there, which is not an arcade game. They had to actually build it for the arcade.
Yeah.
The arcades are a dying place. That's why it's like
Okay.
it's so cool to play games in the arcade because they don't really make that many new games
No.
in the arcade these days. It's all old
I miss
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
I miss
but-
arcades. Yeah, that's really cool.
Super fun. If you're ever in the area, you got to go. It's $50 to get in, but you can spend all day there. It's totally worth it. Yeah, definitely check
Oh,
it
for
out.
sure. That sounds awesome.
That's what I've been up to.
The New Hampshire one has the Guinness Book of World Records, but we all know how the Guinness Book of World Records goes.
We do? Yeah,
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 I
we
mean,
do. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Especially with video
Nice.
game stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
Buy your
actually
way in.
joking. Like what? Oh, is that what it is? It's all about money.
They're
Pretty
just
much you have to, like,
inaccurate.
Pretty much.
You have to pay a fee for them to show up, and then if you have like some arbitrary record, then here you go, you're in.
Wow.
So I need to come up with something and just pay money and I'll be in the books. Let's do it.
World's biggest micro penis. I fucking got it.
What?
Bro,
I gotta get it shortened enough to the point where it still qualifies as micro, but it's the biggest possible.
I was confused there for a second. Yeah.
you know what that's reminding me of? That sounds like when Matt Hardy was trying to lose weight in order to be the heaviest cruiserweight individual to win the cruiserweight title.
Yes, definitely same
Same
energy.
concept. Same concept. Yep.
You're gonna start measuring in really small fractions.
Would you rather have the biggest micro penis or the smallest regular penis?
Oh my!
You want to be the biggest.
I choose or.
Obviously.
How about neither? Neither would be great. All right. Andres Restart. What have you been playing lately?
Pokemon Scarlet Violet DLC.
Really?
Yeah, I finally forced myself to play it. And it's fun. Like I'm seeing like the story at first, like it's kind of it feels a little bit too childish for me. But as I kind of go a little bit deeper, it's starting to kind of show a little bit of depth with the characters. I'm still in the first part, right? But I've already can tell like it's a continuation, and so that's cool. I hate it whenever Pokemon comes up that we just start complaining about it. But I mean, I beat the main game. I actually really enjoy it despite all the issues, and I'm getting into the DLC. I like it, but there's the textures suck. They're just terrible.
Like
half
I'm with
the
you,
time-
Andres. I'm telling you, I love Scarlet. I think the game is really fun. It's just held together by duct tape. That's it.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, it's what's something that's kind of weird to me, right? So the thing is, especially in the beginning of the game, like there are moments where it like pauses and it's a cutscene. Then there are other times it pauses and it's just because the game's trying to figure out what's going on, and you're not sure for like about a second. So it's just weird that a year later with the DLC there are still these issues. And I feel bad almost like bringing it up, but I mean, I'm just telling you about my experience, right? But I mean, yeah, the story's good, and I just kind of hope that they rectify this. I mean, actually, we heard from what Andy Robinson said that he heard like from inside, right? Like not a public spokesman. So that's actually, to me, that's actually bigger news, right? Because this is not someone trying to save face. This is behind the scenes, and so more suggestive that actually something is going on to rectify the quality issues in Scarlet and Violet. So we'll see what happens. I pray for a Legends game this year, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, the DLC, I've been playing it. It's all right.
Game Freak is like, hey, we need that Switch 2 so we can have our game run at all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nintendo.
90% of people still play it on Switch 1 and still have the issues, though. But yeah, at least they'll be able to advertise a better version.
Yeah. All right. I am so bricked up right now. What have you been playing lately?
Oh shit! Sorry, I was on a different video before video.
I thought you were talking about yourself, Nate. I was like, that's interesting.
I thought I changed my name, but
have I ever come into a show bricked up? I don't think so. I don't think it's happened.
I mean, then you're not excited about the show.
That's one way to take it.
So I was in Florida this past week. The week before I was in Fort Myers. This past week I was just outside of Tampa, like St. Pete area. And so I didn't get to play a lot, but I did. Now I own Dead Cells, like a physical copy, but I've got like a few different Switches, and on my OLED, I had never played it on that. And you know how like it's a roguelite. So like once you play it and beat it, you've always gotten that far. So like to play it as like completely from day one, like a fresh experience is pretty fun. I don't know how many of you guys have played it, but so it's kind of like a fun game to actually play like completely fresh. So the eShop sale, you could get Dead Cells and all the DLCs, which I never got the DLCs. A couple of them are free, but a couple of them are like $5 on the Castlevania ones, like $10. So it was the base game and all the DLCs for $25. And I've been playing that again. And man, I just really love those kind of games like Hades, Returnal. I know it's PlayStation, but the Binding of Isaac, like those games are awesome. And I just like get sucked into them and just have so much fun. So I played that this week, even though I couldn't play a lot. I had some fun with that game.
Man, you sound like a Metroid fan.
Well, Metroid's not like
they're not exactly like roguelikes.
Roguelike, yeah.
But like, have you played God of War Ragnarok?
Yeah, I love that game. Yeah.
Have you tried out Valhalla yet?
No.
It's roguelike.
Oh, really?
It's okay, God of War Ragnarok, but roguelike.
God of War Ragnarok, I thought was so much better than the first one. It's probably my favorite PS5 game. The story was unbelievable. Like I would like go to bed at night, like dreaming about what would happen next. I was so into it. So, I've been meaning to play the DLC. I haven't gotten a chance yet, but maybe when I open my
you're really gonna like it now that's not I know that you're really into roguelikes. Oof.
Just for the record, I was trying to segue. Just saying.
Okay. I am a Metroid fan though. It's just not that kind of game, but it's
no, sure.
You're trying to segue, but I haven't gone yet. What are we?
Oh,
I'm chopped liver. I don't
matter
anymore.
You're bricked up, so.
Anyways, believe it or not, I've been playing PS5 lately, and for the first time ever, started playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, okay.
The first one.
The first
one. When's PlayStation
I
Prime
love Horizon Zero Dawn.
How do you feel about it?
I'm not that deep in yet, but it's pretty good.
It gets way better. Like it's kind of overwhelming at the beginning.
Yeah,
and, like it takes a while, but like it takes longer than it should. To be fair, like this is a critique, but it is one of those games that like 15 hours in, it starts to feel really good.
Oh, like Xenoblade 2.
Flow of things.
Yeah, it's not as bad as like Starfield in terms of like getting into it, but it does have that.
It's all right. I want to play Forbidden West so bad. I'm going to force myself to get through it. Because
dude, I think I like the first. That's the opposite of God of War. I like the first Horizon better than Forbidden West. I think.
Well, I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm not far enough in to really have any super big critiques other than like I'm not super into it yet. It's just it's okay right now. But
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
I feel
like
the
it's
same
building.
way at that.
It feels like it's
That's fair.
building towards something, and I'll just have to.
I'll say
I'll
that with
just play it out.
Xenoblade 2, that one's worse. Like, I think to me the story is a little bit more engaging than Horizon, but the gameplay, there are people who beat the game and never actually learn how to play the game.
For Horizon or Xenoblade?
For Xenoblade.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the thing, Xenoblade 2 is the gameplay system is so fun, but you got to take time to like learn it, and the training wheels don't fall off until like 15 hours in, and I'm like, that's like the main issue with me with Xenoblade 2. But man, when the game opens up, does it? Oh, I love that game.
So good.
Yeah.
And then quickly, before we get into our first topic, I just want to make sure that I shout out our podcast patrons. It's the end of the month, so it's the final show I can do this. So I want to make sure that Joycey J, Jeff Morrison, Chris Palmer, Itchy Donnelly, James Fazel, and Zenith, thank you guys so much for being supporters on Patreon of the podcast. You too can become a Patreon today, or patron. I think it's called Patron, not Patreon. And even sponsor an episode through our new sponsorship tier. We will dedicate the episode to you and advertise /mention show any specific thing you want during the show. You have a YouTube channel you want to promote, Etsy shop, personal project, all you, baby. You can also submit a topic for that episode. Just on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. All right.
Yeah, you really are bricked up, man. You got all robot-y there.
Literally.
Let's hey, I had a script for this. It was supposed to be done earlier.
The message was conveyed, I think, but
it was to convey the message.
Yeah.
Plus,
can we change our name to the Bricked Up Podcast?
No.
All right, we'll talk about it later. Workshop.
We'll put a pin in that.
That's all right. We're tabling the discussion.
The post-show meeting. We'll return to. Anyways.
All right, yeah, we'll circle back.
We'll circle back. So our first topic, and I thought this was appropriate, since a certain person on our show went a little viral when it came to general media over some Metroid stuff recently, just because very well researched stuff. Fact-based information. It's a little bit of speculation, of course, on top. You gotta have some speculation. Otherwise, what's
Dude,
the
you're getting
fun?
Andres bricked up right now.
Read a paragraph and
he's
go,
excited.
You're done. I mean, look, you can just like, here's the information to be done in a minute. That's not any fun. You got to connect dots. You got to put things together. So, what the hell do we know about Metroid Prime 4? Why are people like all of a sudden out of nowhere talking about this? Like, we're gonna start with Sumal Dave on this because he's put together a laundry list of Metroid Prime 4 videos for a game that we haven't actually seen anything but a logo. And I guess you want to argue art on their Twitter profile.
Yeah, I was about to say but the art on the
They
Twitter,
put
like,
the art up, yeah. We think it's Metroid Prime 4, but what if they were actually Dread teasing? I have no idea. They wouldn't make Dread, but anyway.
yeah, because like what? Like, yeah,
the art went up
Retro's
when Dread came out.
No.
Don't ask me.
No, it's factually Metroid Prime 4 because it's on their hiring page.
Yeah,
the actual picture. But yeah, anyway, you know that.
and it's
But,
blue.
yeah,
it's
exactly.
blue. Exactly. That's how you know.
So if you want to know the info, just watch videos of my channel. I'm done. No, I'm kidding. Okay,
Andrew. Somebody tell the people what they want to know.
yeah. Basically, I mean, the videos are kind of long, so I'll try to sum it up. But
sure,
what the best kind of leaks are when you find real information. I think it's not a rumor. It's not like something like like someone told said something.
Said.
Yeah, it's actual real information that I found, and it was removed like within 24 to 48 hours after I posted it in the video. But I have all the screenshots in there and everything. So I posted it 2 weeks ago, and it was pre-planned. I was on my vacation, like I said, in Chicago, going to the arcade and everything. And then Andres DM'd me and said, "Hey, what's up? Your link has been removed in your video." So I had to like stop everything and just like fix that and figure out what happened using the Wayback Machine, because the proof is all there. So basically, it was revealed in LinkedIn and through some job profiles on our website that Retro Studios hired some play tester who had experience and previously playing Call of Duty games, and he actually said in his profile that he's currently testing Metroid Prime 4 for the past 10 months. And he listed the software that he uses to test the game, all that, like way too much detail, basically, right? So for like a company like Retro Studios probably saw that after I posted it, and they got rid of it right away. But he said that in his profile that he's been testing that game, and and basically the time range was very similar to other games that he tested. So it seemed like the game is very close to being completed because it's in the testing range, right? Just like what I kind of been going back and forth with Andres about this with his channel, because he had a really I think credible rumor about Metroid Prime 4 last year being completed. And I think this information backed it up, and it's real information too. Plus, on top of that, I also found information from a company named Next Gen Dreams, who their information was also removed from Retro Studios LinkedIn page because their CEO was listed as one of their employees, and which you can't find now because they removed it. And I don't know if you know how LinkedIn works, but LinkedIn, it's harder to find things with the Wayback Machine with personal information, but on websites you can still find it. So they listed Retro Studios as their partner, and on their profile, Next Gen Dreams, they list all their accomplishments and everything. And one of their main things that they do is they help studios with debut trailers, but they're also like a developer for hire, right? So they have all these special attributes that a team like Retro Studios would want for a debut trailer. So I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So let's show this. Let's show the proof. Let's show them listed there and everything. Of course, the site removed Retro Studios from their partner list, and said, "Aha, you're not gonna hide this from us." So you use the Wayback Machine, you can see it and everything. So yeah, of course, the speculation part comes in when you speculate that, hey, the game is pretty much done and it's just waiting to be revealed at this point because they have all the tools there to have the game completed. The game's been in Retro Studios' hands for 5 years now. You got to think the game is looking pretty darn good and polished. So I think they're just waiting for that Switch to reveal, and then we're going to see the game.
Yeah. It's just crazy because, like, you mentioned how, like, because both Nate and I reported on the same rumor, right, back in March, literally March of 2023, right? And the job posting is from March of 2023. So it just lines up perfectly when that information became privy to us. And what's also interesting, right? So assuming they're in the playtesting stage, right? There was that other rumor we heard from the Xbox Era podcast that the game looks visually unbelievable and that the environments look like kind of vast and are similar to Halo Infinite, right? Not necessarily open world, which is what they kind of harped on, but just it gave them kind of that sense. And so that makes sense if maybe they're hearing from people who are already playing the game, right? And so, like, just these like little things that have popped up, they all they're fitting the same picture. And so to me, that just makes it more interesting. And then when you made your video and then they take down that stuff, like, to me, that's just, they would have been better off not taking it down.
Right.
Yeah, so I had to make a second video the following week when I got back from Chicago to prove that the information was not fake because they had removed it. So I had to show in the second video all the secondary proof of more of the breadcrumbs basically that they left behind from removing it the first time. So yeah, it's still all there. Once you post something on the internet, it's pretty much always there. Yeah, to a certain extent. So yeah, it's really exciting, I think. And it just shows that, usually when companies are getting ready to show something, they're looking for the stuff like hawks. Like they want to, once it's posted, they'll get rid of that right away because we're in the stage where we're about to show this game and we don't want people to know. And also, it kind of can mess up their current plans for the current Switch as well, because they're trying to still sell systems until they announce Switch 2. And it's the worst kept secret in the world at this point. Everyone knows it's about to be announced. Probably my guess is like end of March or early April.
Do you guys want a juicy rumor that I just learned about this morning that you may not have heard about because I saw it in Spanish?
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it. So, take this several grains of salt, because one, that's my initial interpretation while I was groggy in the morning listening, right? I want to, like, I haven't made a video or done like due diligence yet, right? But that, and then also it's still a rumor on top of that, right? But apparently, final or late dev kits are coming for Nintendo Switch 2 to the West, and there was talk that Retro Studios may be one of those companies receiving one of those late Switch 2 dev kits. So if they're getting a late version Switch 2 dev kit, right, there's a strong implication that they're gearing up Prime 4 for Switch 2, which probably is something we're all assuming anyway, if this is true. But it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, my guess is Retro Studios is working on the main Retro Studios core team is working on that version of the game for Switch 2, and Nintendo is also assisting with the version for the Switch as well, as my guess, because I do think this is going to be a game that really shows off what this new console can do, and it's going to be extremely polished. So I can't wait to see it.
I think we're going to talk more about this during our like bingo predictions, because but I've been like back and forth on how Nintendo is going to handle Metroid Prime 4, because on one hand, I'm thinking, it might make a lot of sense to showcase Prime 4 in a February Direct beforehand. Maybe show it in a way that's a little cryptic, kind of like that first Tears of the Kingdom trailer, right? Where it's not necessarily gameplay, but it kind of gives us an idea of what to expect. And then when they give us a Switch 2 teaser, we see like little clips. And then in maybe a summer event, that's where they're like, hey, so this is a Switch 2 version. There's also a Switch 1 version, and it still looks good. That's kind of in my thinking. But then what if they don't have a February, like a normal big direct? And it's like just like a mini or something like that, or a partner showcase, and we don't see Prime 4 until they literally show off Switch 2. So I'm just not sure. I'm kind of divided on which way they go.
I'd be down for that, but you got to think too. Retro Studios hasn't shown a brand new game directly from them since Tropical Freeze, right?
Right.
So
Wasn't
I don't
that
know.
the last game they worked on? Like not counting Metroid Prime Remastered.
Iron
They
Galaxy
worked
worked
on
on
the-
that port.
Oh,
They assisted, but
Yeah.
I just mean first original brand new game. It's not a port,
right.
They worked on that Funky Kong model for years.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, so
but
what's the point you're getting at, though? So it's been
no,
a while.
I'm
right?
saying I would be totally down for a Metroid Prime 4 reveal trailer on the current Switch, because I do think it will look really good on the current Switch too, as well. Because just look how good Metroid Prime Remastered looks. I'm just more leaning towards them being using that as a blast off showcase game tour de force for the Switch 2.
So you are feeling a direct reveal then in before Switch 2.
No, I said I'll be down for that. I don't really think they will though.
Okay.
But I would be all for it. I want to see the game.
Right.
But they may just show like another like extremely detailed, super detailed Unreal Engine 5 powered logo for us to see. I'm just kidding. But
I mean, maybe what they
we'll
could do
see.
is they show off Metroid Prime 2, and then they have Kensuke Tanabe come out on stage and say, hey, we'll have more details on Metroid Prime 4 later this year. Kind of like when Onuma came out in a video when they announced Skyward Sword HD. Like, at least we knew we were going to get more info on the game later that year.
Yep.
I think that at least then we know, okay, we're going to actually see this game this year. Like, giving us that confirmation is better than not saying anything.
I would totally be down for that. Absolutely. Also, I would really hope that they, along with that, show Metroid Prime 2 and 3 as well then.
Yeah.
So hey man, I'm down for seeing the game, period. I honestly don't care. But as far as my gut instinct, I really think they're holding it off for Switch 2. That's just my gut instinct.
Well, didn't someone say last week that like for Pikmin 4, they just announced Pikmin 4 and the release date of that, and they didn't say anything about Pikmin 1 or 2 until we already had known the release date for Pikmin 4 for a while. Technically, Pikmin 1 and 2 came out before Pikmin 4 did, which makes sense. Which would make
they
sense
were
for
announced
Metroid.
like
That's
a
true.
month or so.
But I could see them just
before the release.
focusing on Metroid Prime 4, you know what I mean, doing a similar thing, and then before Prime 4 comes out, actually releasing 2 and 3 remastered.
Yeah.
But then that depends on how much do they believe people will stew on each individual game? Because I mean, like remastered has been like one remaster has been out for like a minute, right? So are they gonna like release 2 and 3 like back to back or around the same time?
No, I think it's gonna be together, like Pikmin 1 and 2.
You think so? Well,
the reason I think so is because like if they release them one at a time, you get less people buying each one.
Gotcha.
right? So the most people will buy 1, then slightly less people will buy 2, and then even less will buy 3. So I think for that reason, it makes sense to just put them together, and then you can charge more than what you would charge for just 2. You know?
Multiplayer, please.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already
Well, I
there.
think Prime 4 will give us that.
But I really like the 2
Yeah.
multiplayer. A lot of people's like, it's boring. I'm like, it was a good, fun side experience.
I
That's
don't
why
really remember it that much, to be honest. I don't think I played it that much, the multiplayer.
You would need to
Yeah,
have
there's
friends.
a lot of ways they can go with 2 and 3.
Ooh.
They could do the
Sorry.
whole like
Mm.
make it like grandiose and a full remake, you know, but graphically, or they can just do the HD thing and release it close to release of Prime 4. Ultimately though, like personally, I'm ready for Prime 4.
Mhm.
I play 2 and 3 so much. And 1,
And you
of
have
course.
those upscaled, modded versions on your channel. Like you have some
Oh
really
yeah, for
cool
sure.
playthroughs of them.
Yeah. But yeah, like definitely I would prefer to play it on the actual hardware, of course, when they re-released it, the remasters. So either way, guys, like I'm down for all that stuff. Just show us something.
Down to clown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We need Metroid Prime 4. No.
So the question of
If they announce Metroid Prime 4 release date this month at a direct, would you, dare I say, get all bricked up?
Not me.
Not-
Yes.
there will be a
I'm kidding.
strong response.
No.
Oh yeah, you can't
Physically,
control it.
emotionally,
Sometimes.
spiritually, but I
That's
don't
why
know
they're called
about,
feelings.
I don't know what the.
Oh, boy.
I'm still trying to sort out what being bricked up means, but
Metroid Prime 4 release date October 25th, 2024.
You know when
that's
you
a
think so?
leak.
Man, like
Leak.
I will honestly be surprised, like
I'm just
genuinely, and like
Dude, I kind of like it as a
positively
Halloween
surprised.
game. That's kind of sick.
It's a
like-
good. That's a good time. It's a Friday. Yeah.
if
What do
this
you
game
think?
comes out this year, I would be genuinely surprised.
Didn't
honestly
Dread
think
come out in
next year.
October?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Mario, the new 3D Mario in November. Say they launch Switch 2 in October. Or
And
whatever.
they delay
you know,
Pokemon finally.
or flip flop. Yeah.
There we go. That's the huge victory.
Announce Switch 2 in April and start that campaign going for the advertisements. Get your pre-orders ready, get your money down, and you were flying for the holidays. 2 banger releases, third-party support. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that, but I think Pokemon comes out in November, so I think we're getting an August or September launch, and then one of them's a launch title, and then another one's coming out like a month or 2 later, before Pokemon. That's kind of that's their 1, 2, 3 punch. Mario,
Yo,
Metroid.
they're gonna
Pokemon.
reveal the Switch 2 in the February direct, and it's gonna release a month after that, and then we're gonna get releases throughout the year. Watch.
I like it.
Shadow drop the Switch 2. No pre-orders. Just hey, it's already in stores, guys.
Yeah.
Run.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Can you
I've actually
imagine?
been playing the Switch 2 this whole time.
That would be scary. I'd
Yeah.
probably have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Nah, Nintendo's gonna want to promote this thing. Like they want to avoid. I feel they're gonna want to avoid what happened with the Wii U and try to differentiate the Switch and the successor as much as they can with enough time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Andres is onto something a little bit though. I think what was it? Was it N64? I think they released that in September of 1996, right? It's not impossible.
I gotta double check. Yeah,
I'm making sure right now.
It's not normal, but it's not impossible. Yeah, September 29th, 1996, the N64 is released in North America.
Yep. Mhm.
So yeah, that is possible.
And then
Also,
Prime 4 within the first month.
yeah, also the they've been doing these March early times in the years as well. Switch and 3DS. I think the DS was released in September of 2004, right? I think DS release date.
the Nintendo DS.
Oh no, that was
launched
November.
holiday.
No, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that was November. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But the 3DS though, you may have been thinking about the 3DS. The 3DS, I believe, that came out February. No, that was it was
Yeah,
it was
February 26th, 2011.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was for Japan, and then North America was March 27th.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely that's actually it makes more sense. He has a more recent handheld system. I will say that I think the Switch 2 is getting revealed in March. And so if it's getting
I hope
revealed
so.
in March, just me looking at how they handled the Switch reveal to release, which was a 4.5 month window, to me, so that's kind of why I throw out the idea of August to September. Like I don't see them waiting 6 months.
Wait, just
So
something I want to just ask you guys real quick, because I'm a really big Pokemon fan. So there's going to be a Pokemon Presents in February, right? Do you think that, I mean, Game Freak's games are so bad that even if it's a Switch 2 Pokemon game, they just show it without the Switch 2 being announced? And you know what? Like, do they show any? First of all, do you think they have Pokemon games that'll be Switch 2 like year one?
so here's the interesting thing about Pokemon.
Do they show them, or what? How do they go about that?
Check this out, right? So you'll probably, once I explain, you'll be like, oh shit, that's right, that's exactly how it works. When we look at how Pokemon Company or Game Freak, right, shows their mainline Pokemon game in the beginning of the year, it's always like a very cryptic trailer, mostly like pieces
Right?
of
Yeah,
art,
just
like,
not actual gameplay,
like,
just like made up
barely.
stuff.
Exactly, right? So like even if they
True.
have a hyped up, super like souped up Switch 2 version, we wouldn't see that until later into the year anyway. So
Yep.
No, you're right.
Totally
You're
good.
right. Dude, I remember when they were showing the Scarlet Violet one, everyone thought it was like a new Detective Pikachu like movie.
Yeah, because it was like there was like looking through
Yeah.
a door and it was like security guards. It's like what's going on? You know?
yeah.
You're right, Andres. You got me bricked up
Honestly-
right now.
Honestly, I feel that like a lot of people think that like, oh, we're not going to hear or see or anything of like the Switch 2 or Switch successor at this direct that's happening supposedly in February. But I feel like at the end of that direct is just going to like, oh, we have one more thing to show you. It's just like, you know, just darkness and maybe just like some silhouettes of the successor. And then it like kind of cuts off quickly. It's like join us like next month, or you could like experience the future next month. And then they set up a March full reveal from the direct. So that's what I think they're going to do. And then they'll have them talking about it for a whole last month leading into the actual reveal of itself. And then they reveal it, then release it a couple of months down the line, and then money.
This is my dream
Yeah.
scenario for a February direct, right? Like they open up the direct with Twilight Princess Wind Waker HD, and then
I've been hurt before.
yeah. Well, we
Like,
we know we got an amiibo restock for the Wolf Link amiibo, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't.
no, I believe it's coming. I believe that
It's a
Nintendo's been
weird
sitting on
amiibo.
it for years. I believe they've been sitting on
Yeah.
that shit for years, and they're just like, okay, now.
Yeah. But so let's say we open up with that. This is a hypothetical, right? And then so the direct just kind of gives us a few updates on the smaller things because we all kind of see the writing on the wall, right? But they close out the direct with a Metroid Prime 2 announcement, and they're like, oh, we got one more thing. They give us like a really cool but cryptic Metroid Prime 4 trailer, and they're like, tune in next month for more details. And that it's somewhere within that, it's for, they say, like for Switch 2 or what have you. Something like that. Like that's how they end it. I don't think they're going to do that. Personally, I think Switch 2 is not going to be mentioned, but I do feel like we're going to watch that direct and be like, yep, Switch 2 is getting announced soon.
They can do a CGI trailer and make it look really, really good and be like, yeah, tune in next month for more information. You're like, oh, okay, that's when Switch 2 is going to be shown.
They could do that without even saying Switch 2. Yeah,
Exactly.
that would be interesting. I'm for it.
But they've never revealed I don't think a next generation console by Nintendo in a direct.
No,
It's
they
always
haven't.
been like
No.
a singular
own.
trailer.
New
Yeah.
Resident.
So I don't think they will do that in a direct with a bunch of games for Switch beforehand. I think they will give it its own trailer, just like the Switch, and they'll have an announcement and say, tune in tomorrow to see what's next from Nintendo or something like that. Or they'll give you a small hint here and there about with Metroid Prime 4, like you said.
Yeah. I don't know if we're just like sort of blending into the next topic already, but I kind of like, this has been on my mind lately. Do we all like think for sure we're getting a general Nintendo Direct in February? I think I think we have to get something, but I am not sure it's a full Direct.
No.
I think it's going to be third party focused.
Partner showcase is a possibility.
I think it's going to be a full
Mini is
direct.
a possibility.
You know, I honestly think it's going to be a full direct because I feel they have to establish more information about leading into launch of Princess Peach Showtime, release date for Thousand Year Door remake, like more information like the stuff we already kind of know, like all the Mario things they want to release throughout the year, whatnot. So I think it's going to be a general direct because I the Prince Showcase is supposed to come out like when, like Q1 into Q2, or do we have a release date on that already?
What about in March? Yeah, we have
Like March,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Peach is
like,
March 22nd. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
see,
so,
we have a date for that. So I feel like they have to do some sort of like final push promotion through a direct itself. We already got that kind of information that like, hey, Ninja Peach and Cowboy Peach is coming to the game, and they say we still have more costumes. So what better way to talk about those costumes during something like that?
There's also like the Splatoon 3 DLC, which we haven't really seen much of it yet. We have
a little trailer, but yeah,
we have a date. So like, it feels like that would be like a perfect time to maybe show that off too.
It's coming out this February, right? Like,
I will note the president of Nintendo did say that they plan to support the Switch through at least March, at least March of 2025 through the next fiscal year. Obviously, it could go beyond that, but the fact that he said that publicly during one of the investors' meetings tells me that, I mean, why wouldn't this be a general direct if they're still planning to support this thing for a whole nother year? So,
yeah, if it was just a partner showcase, that would not send a good message.
Yeah, so like if you want to build consumer confidence through that March of 2025 that you've already mentioned, you would have. I'm not saying there's going to be a bunch of brand new games. Could just be more ports and remasters and stuff. That could just be the plan.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Wind Waker, Twilight Princess HD. It's the ultimate Band-Aid,
and that's fine. I'm just
F-Zero
saying
GX.
like if there was going to still be a general direct for Switch, this would be the one. I don't. If it's not this, then we're just not going to get them anymore, which is okay because that means I will note, and I've said this before. If they went with a partner showcase, I mean, I feel like Switch 2 is getting revealed in March. Then, like they're not going to just not show any of their own stuff for 6 months.
Well, we
I
just
want
had
to
a
see all
45.
Bingos cards. Like, oh my god, I need to see all Bingos cards now.
We had a 45-minute
wild.
state of play just now. 45-minute state of play. I mean, and that had some third-party exclusives for Sony.
And it still wasn't enough.
Was there any first-party stuff in there?
I mean, like PlayStation Studios, like Stellar Blade, and then they were talking about damn, what was that other one? Rise of the Ronin. There wasn't Rise of the Ronin technically counts because like under the banner. Death Stranding 2, and there was one more, and there was one where they had the PlayStation Studios banner. But
the way that PlayStation works, yes.
Didn't they say they're working on another game after Death Stranding 2? I didn't watch the state of play.
So they got PlayStation's like, Kojima, you're ours. So they said that after Death Stranding 2 is out, Kojima's gonna work on a brand new action espionage game.
Basically, new Metal Gear that's not Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's gonna be Metal Gear, but that's not Metal Gear for PlayStation. And I'm like, yo, Kojima is coveted, man. Like,
dude. And by the way, all of this going on, they're also making OD for Xbox right now. Like that studio must be getting massive. They must have such. I mean, you got Sony and Xbox money coming in. They must have huge teams right now.
That's awesome. Wild.
Yeah. So I'm just saying for Nintendo Direct, I still personally kind of expect a general full Nintendo Direct because like there's still lots of stuff to show, even if it's not extremely first party focused. You still can have a 45-minute Nintendo Direct.
At least got a year of support ahead. They gotta flush out some stuff.
I want them to do a full general direct just so we can continue to argue about Switch 2's existence until March. I want the battle to go on until the very last moment.
I'll say this. If there's a full general direct, but they actually drop big brand new games, not just Metroid Prime 4. Let's say there's a 3D Zelda in it, and there's something like that would just take people back so much. People would literally start going, Switch 2 might not be coming this year. Holy shit.
I mean, they could do Link Between Worlds, right?
Yeah, could do
remaster.
Man, just put Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask on 3D on the Switch.
So here's what we'll do. We're going to transition into the Nintendo Direct Bingo prediction sort of section. This is more of a fun conversation to have, guys. Obviously, there is no actual direct announced. This is just the hope and the tradition of there being directs every February out in Switch's generation outside of 2020 when obviously there was a pandemic going on. So understandable why that was a non-traditional year in general, just a bunch of minis. But could be a mini, could be a partner showcase, doesn't matter. What I do want to mention is for those who aren't aware, you guys can participate in the bingo as well. Now, we're not technically competing against each other. Now, if any bets happen on the show between us, team to go down, it happens. And I know for sure when I put together my bingo card last night, my goal was to beat Andres, even though there's nothing on the line. I just want to beat him. But that being said, and I didn't even look at yours. I made sure not to look at your card before I did mine. So
so for those that know, I live streamed on Monday, and I did it. I worked with my viewers so it's not just me. Mine is built by an audience.
Last night, it's almost like I did the same thing.
Hey, but I used polls.
I didn't use polls.
Yo, it took me an hour to put together mine, man.
Ideas from the chat combined with what I don't. Anyways, maybe my ideas aren't realistic.
GPT. No,
there's one particular one on there I think Andres is gonna love, and you can thank Joycey J for it. It's a beautiful one. That being said, you guys participate as well. Our mods can go ahead and drop a link to where you guys can get the rules and you can get the board to fill out yourself. And actually, if a direct does happen, you can actually submit your bingo cards to direct@nintendoprime.net only during the show. If you're hearing the show later and you decide to submit, don't matter. You better hope there's no direct happening before the next podcast, because you can only submit during the podcast. I am checking timestamps on the submissions and deleting any emails that happen before or after the show. Literally, you have to be here to be part of it. You could send your bingo card in, and the 5 that get the most bingos are going to win a prize. The prize is just a $20 eShop gift card. Not the greatest thing in the world. However, you can give yourself a free space, but if you don't have a free space and you put in a game, and we're talking the middle square, you put a game there and one of your bingos lands there and you're one of the top 5, your prize doubles.
Ooh.
So just throwing that out there. You can read the rest of the rules if you want, like what happens if we have like 7 people tied for the top 5. You go ahead and read the rest of the rules and all that. We have that all already detailed out in our community section, all that stuff. That
if
being
there's
said,
a tie, who's ever the most bricked up wins.
That is not a rule.
That's
that being
not a rule
said,
so far.
Bingo card time. Who wants to go first? I have 4 of the 6 on the show.
Can I just do a little tangent?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I was gonna let Eric talk, and I was gonna do his first because like he always talks too much, so I figured just get him out of the way.
Right.
Do you have to do a tangent? Can you do a little cosine?
Yes. Must have a cosine.
Sorry, Matthew.
It's just a little thing. It's just like, why do we need prizes? I always hated it. I always hated it whenever I came
Bingo
back.
is a prize-based
game.
game.
Man of the people,
All
are
right,
you?
you know what? It's fine. No, I'm not saying you should.
There's no prizes for us on the panel. I'm giving prizes to the people.
So let me clarify. I have no problem with you having prizes for this contest. I think that's a fantastic
You actually
idea.
helped me come up with the idea for it.
I literally suggested it to you. Like,
you're talking shit about your own suggestions right now.
I don't understand. What are your qualms, sir?
It's just a person. Like, we're competing with each other, right? There's no prizes for us, and it's just a personal thing. Like, I remember I would come back home from winning.
You mean you want a prize on this? You want a prize? You
want a prize?
No.
Wait, you say you want a prize?
I would tell my stepmom, they'd be like, "What did you win?" I won glory. Like, isn't that good enough?
Bragging rights.
That's more than a prize. But anyway, that's just
give you a pat on the back, buddy.
Like, what did you win? The fact that I won. Like, I can throw that into people's faces anytime I want to.
Exactly. It's the best part of winning.
You won getting bricked up.
Next time I see you, Andres, we'll give you a handshake.
I don't need that. it's fine.
High five.
Okay.
Is Eric going first?
Yeah, I'm gonna get his grabbed here so I can show it to you guys. This is the one. This is the button hit. And we want to grab. Is it not gonna let me grab it that way? Oh wait, no. Yes, it will. I got it. Got it. Boom. All right.
Almost Shidoi.
So Eric,
Words.
You have lots of words, which is fine.
Yeah.
People with images, some with words.
I know.
That's okay.
Wait, was I supposed to do this?
Well, yes, I actually had a long conversation with you in a text message, and you were like,
"Yeah," and I asked
this is awesome.
Typically, if I was supposed to do this, and you said no.
Oh well.
So,
Well, you
Eric,
go last.
you want to go over your bingo card here?
Yeah, I mean,
well, Prime 4. I mean, I think we've already talked Prime 4 a lot. Yeah.
It'd be freaking great to see Conker's Bedford announced for an SO.
Yes,
I want it.
I want it.
Give
Bad.
me. Give me
Oh
it.
no, we have a conversation to be had when you see mine. Ooh, all right, go ahead. Conker's best for Eric.
Yeah, I thought it'd be just funny if all of a sudden it was just an indie world instead of an actual like Nintendo Direct, because then the bingo card's out the window.
Yeah.
So A new Captain Toad game, or anything new Captain Toad, I guess.
Nice. I like that.
Zelda remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it. A new Mario game, new Yoshi game, brand new IP, whatever the
Man,
heck
you're
that
going
is.
with a big direct. I love it.
right?
This is great.
Game Gear getting added to the
Game
He
NFL.
only has to get. He only has to get 5 in a row, right? Like you don't have to. It's
Yeah.
not about everything being right. It's about just getting 5 in a row.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But if we're competing and you have one bingo, then you need to get another bingo.
Yeah, we'll see.
Something Star Fox, new DK game, 2+ scissor reels in the direct. Because I'm not as much in depth with you guys, I chose to do a free space. So
Increase your
there you
odds.
go. Yeah,
There you go.
Take
yeah.
it.
New Showtime content, Paper Mario update, Smash 64 and NSO, new
I
Kirby
wish.
game, Luigi's Mansion 2 release date,
Okay.
new Banjo Kazooie game.
Holy shit!
Oh,
Please.
Oh, Microsoft giving that to Nintendo first? That would be insane.
Please.
Ring Fit 2.
Okay.
GameCube to the NSO.
Oh, jeez. You're
That's
just giving
never
the
gonna
best
happen.
Nintendo,
Oh, yeah.
That's what's
That's
happening.
never gonna happen.
Dude.
Bingo of dreams.
This is
No.
just a dream bingo card.
Hey, you know what? Though? Maybe the dream's alive.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Luigi's Mansion 4. Because
Oh,
that could go with the Luigi's Mansion 2 release date. Overcooked 3
Okay.
just because.
okay.
Okay.
Overcooked.
Revive the Mario and Luigi series.
Oh my god.
And then obviously Switch 2.
This would be the
Dude, I
greatest.
do
direct of all time.
like the Overcooked 3 actually. No,
That's
that's a
fun
random
game.
one to jump on.
I
But that one
want
like
this to be true so bad. This is like the greatest direct I've ever seen in my life.
I got a prediction. At least 2 spots on here are going to be correct.
At least 2.
At
No,
least 2.
You got
actually
the 3,
three.
so what's the other one?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
So the free one, Paper Mario, because they're not going to not show Paper Mario. And I actually think we are going to get some sort of Zelda remake remaster in the direct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you'll probably
Yeah.
get the new Showtime content.
Oh, is that there?
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
there. It's next to
Yeah.
the free space.
Oh, new Showtime. I was looking for Peach. All right. Yeah. So I mean,
I just put
I said
Showtime.
3, but there's 4 boxes there that, you know.
That middle row
Pretty
actually
good.
had a chance to possibly do something.
Well, we'll see. We'll
Wait,
see.
middle row or middle column?
Middle row.
Middle row.
Uh,
Right.
Yeah, I was
Actually,
I was
yeah.
confused yesterday. I'm like, one's a column, one's a
Yeah.
row, and I
Up
don't
and
use
down is
those.
column.
I don't
If you
use
get
those
if there's a
terms
new
often.
Donkey Kong, you win.
Yeah.
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 That's really all you're banking on. Because
Yeah.
those are givens almost. Like they are givens. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
shouldn't be allowed to like make the order of your board. You should just like put 25 things and then it randomizes it. That's cheap
Oh.
to put the most realistic ones in a
Yeah.
row.
I don't have a randomizer, Jake.
Interesting.
Randomizer? I hardly know her.
Well, that was not a rule, so you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was not a rule.
It should have been.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Game Gear on the Wii Virtual Console back in the day?
I think it was.
Was it? I have
think
no
so.
idea.
Wait,
There was
I
some
don't know
weird
if it
stuff.
was. Are you just thinking
was-
about like maybe just the Sega Ages collection, which is also on Switch? It's not necessarily.
No,
No, we're talking about Wii Shop channel.
could have sworn
yeah.
it was on.
Sega Ages games were on the Wii. Were on the Wii Shop.
Virtual console.
That I have no idea.
There was definitely
They-
more than Nintendo stuff.
They did not have Game Gear. They had NES, Master System, Commodore, PC Engine, MSX, TurboGrafx, Sega Genesis, and Neo Geo.
Okay,
That's a lot.
That's
Alright,
Wii
well,
U.
yeah.
That's Wii U, right?
That's
Not
Wii. That's
Oh,
Wii.
that's Wii. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, I think Game Gear.
God.
Yeah, it's kind of like they have a few good games on that. I don't know what they would put on it because there's so many games that are just like anything else on Genesis or
Isn't the Sonic game on that good?
you know,
Forget
Yeah.
what it's called.
it is good.
Okay.
Ooh,
I just,
can we,
I, just
can we,
don't, I don't know, like if Game Gear is put on there, Eric. What games would they have? Name some.
Mm, yeah, no, I mean,
Put them on the
yeah,
spot.
right.
Game Gear.
I mean, Echo the Dolphin was fun. I
Mm.
had the Japanese version, so I never actually understood how to play it.
oh.
So,
I mean, I played the English version on NSO, and I still didn't understand how to play it. So.
yeah.
Poor Echo the Dolphin.
It's
Yeah.
fun. No, I enjoyed
Wait, what
figuring
was
it
on
out.
the- They remember they made the pocket-sized Game Gear Minis. What was on those? You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
No, I do
Yeah.
not. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
They were like collectible, like the little teeny Game Gear Minis.
Mm.
So the best Game Gear games they have listed on the site here: Gunstar Heroes,
Yeah.
Baku Baku Animal, Wonder Boy 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. They're like ports of Genesis. Shinobi 2, Bubble Bobble,
Oh,
its own version of Streets of Rage 2. They had Power Strike 2, Prince of Persia, Shining Force. Those are like the best games. You know,
they had
like
a really fun Power Rangers game.
Wait, look how little this is, the Game Gear Micro. If it's gonna,
Holy,
remember everyone thought
that
it was
is
a
tiny.
joke.
that is tiny.
Came out in
Holy
2020,
Yeesh.
released by Sega.
That is insane.
yeah, we'll see. I guess, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had the Game Gear.
Yes,
Man.
you did. That's how I
Yeah.
got to play it. I never owned it. I played it vicariously through Eric.
Some sports games.
At-
I played a lot of
And
the one
monkey
baseball game.
business
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, I played a lot of the one baseball game. Yeah, the Power Ranger game on that was really fun too. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see kind of. I mean, yeah, it probably shares a lot of games with the Genesis, but the heck with it.
Oh, did you say
True.
did you say Sonic Chaos too?
No, it was just
That
a
was the
port of
Game
Sonic the
Gear,
Hedgehog.
like the one that it was like made for Game Gear.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one of them. Yeah, I have to find a big list.
I don't know.
They
Uh,
had two Last Bible spin-offs, which was from the Shin Megami Tensei / Persona series that were Game Gear exclusives. That's kind of cool.
Okay, there you go.
Anyways.
All right, I'm gonna throw out this next one because I don't know who's between Super Metal Dave and HMK because I, of course,
Oh, I
enable
didn't
them.
submit it to you. I just have.
No. You can share. You can share your own if you want when it's your
Okay.
turn. I'm just trying to get these ones out of the way so I don't know whose they are. So
Mine is the one with the monkey's paw in the middle.
okay, well, I'm just gonna grab this and you guys can make a
That's
claim to it
dangerous.
unless you.
Mine has a lot of
regret it and
Metroid
don't
on
like
it.
Unless I grab this and you don't like it. Let's see what
Metroid
happens.
Zero Mission HD.
That's
You can
me.
grab it. I'll like it.
Oh, that's
There we
that's
go.
not mine.
HMK. HMK.
That's what.
That's me.
Go over your bingo card. Explain these things. What do we
All
got?
right, so first of all, we got Switch 2, just in case, if it just shows up or anything. Banjo Tooie on NSO, Nintendo. Where is it?
Okay.
Like,
Mhm.
come on. That's why I'm like, yo, Conker's Bad Fur Day, not until I get my Banjo Tooie. Then
That one, I'll give you that one.
I just threw Star Fox in there because I really want Star Fox, even though I know it's dead. So Star Fox. Princess Peach Showtime, a new
Man, this
Yoshi
is
game.
so professional compared to the last one.
What's up with that
Um,
Yoshi picture? Oh my
I-
gosh.
It's great, right? I
Yeah,
love Yoshi.
the Yoshi.
That's the leaked design for the new Yoshi.
Next gen Yoshi.
version of
Right?
Yoshi.
Like
It's actually-
all
Dinosaurs,
tails and the
Peach
pores in Yoshi skin.
It's actually a crossover. Yoshi cross Five Nights at Freddy's.
Ugh, don't no.
Oh,
We
Oh,
got
is that
Dark
the
Pit.
Zelda movie in the corner?
Yeah,
All right.
we're gonna get there.
Way to
Dark
spoil
Pit,
it.
Dark Pit for
Okay.
Kid Icarus Uprising for the Switch, like Nintendo, like that's free money. So I put in Zelda Ocarina of Time because I would love to see Ocarina of Time like remaster remade again.
Yes.
No
Hi-Fi Rush,
problem.
Hi-Fi Rush for the Switch, please. It was an amazing game, a stellar experience. If this game's going multi-platform, I feel like it'll do really, really well on Nintendo Switch. We got the big ass 4 for Metroid Prime 4. Please, God, I'm still waiting. Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Switch. We're only missing one Xenoblade game. If it comes to Switch 2, that's cool. I put in Pokemon Gold there because of like, Let's Go Pikachu, but Gold, or like a Gold remake for Switch or something like that. Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go.
Sure.
No, wait,
Not Let's Go,
Let-
but anything else I would take.
like any
Pokemon.
form of new Gold, I will love that. I'm tired of seeing Rayman dead, so I kind of need him to come back. So
Alright.
that's Rayman. The Free Space is is a monkey's paw because I feel like a lot of these have a good chance of showing up, but there's gonna be a catch to it. Like every one of these has a catch to it. So that's why I'm like the monkey's paw just curls up. Isabel's there for like any type of new Animal Crossing thing. Like everyone's been wanting new updates to New Horizons that we're not gonna get. So maybe just the next Animal Crossing game. I feel like it's enough time, right?
Amiibo Festival 2, baby.
Oh man, no, Happy Home Designer too.
Give the people what they want.
Twilight Princess HD, Windworker HD. I know Nintendo has it. I know they're sitting on it. They just have to release it. I know.
Yeah.
it.
Andres
man.
just released a video on that, I think.
Yeah, they have that.
Yep.
Man. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes remastered.
Let's go.
I would love for them to be bundled like 2 and 3, but I feel like they're gonna space them out. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door information, F-Zero, and then this is a good one. Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. I feel like we probably might get a Fire Emblem Gaiden version of that game for Genealogy of the Holy War, and I feel like it'll be like really good. New Donkey Kong game. I just had to put Donkey Kong Country as a series. If they bring up the Legend of Zelda movie at all, they're like, oh, tune in next week, or like tune in on this day on Twitter to see who's the actors, who's going to be the actors towards the Legend of Zelda, blah, blah, blah. I just threw in Travis there for a new No More Heroes, please.
Travis for Smash.
Nah, and I that ship has sailed. Lethal Company for Switch. I adore this game, and I feel like I think it's time for it to go multi-plat. I hope the guy running and making this game is going to secure some sort of funding or anything like that, because I would love to see this game go multi-platform and the Switch be one of them. So Lethal Company, that's an elephant or a Mario Cap, so anything Super Mario Bros. Wonder related, maybe even DLC or an update, free some, so that there. And Glover! Either Glover on NSO, yeah, either Glover on NSO or just Glover remastered, whatever. Just give me Glover.
Two comments right off the top.
No glove, no love.
Yeah,
See,
gotta love the glove.
F-Zero, what did Zero ever do to you? It's uncalled for.
Wow.
And 2, Glover, I hardly know her.
There you go.
All right.
I love the glove.
You got points for the puns.
Love the glove. That's a
I'll
great
just say I think 80 to 90% of this is 100% happening. I don't know if it's happening. I don't think it's happening.
No.
Well, okay, I'm 80 to 90. Like, I mean, there's 25 boxes, right? So 80 would be 4 of the 5 rows. But anyway, like, I think most of this is happening. I don't think it's all happening in the next direct, but like, I think almost all these things are in the works.
What about Tetris 99 all bricked up version?
Wow.
Tetris 69 all bricked up.
Zelda 99, let's go. Or Zelda 25.
That's doable. Like 4 sword style.
Yep. Not even 4 sword style, like dungeon crawling. Whoever reaches the farthest part of the dungeon the quickest, and whoever stays alive.
Didn't they say in an interview that they wouldn't do that?
Like a dungeon maker. They wouldn't do dungeon maker.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
like,
I thought that's what you said. What was it?
Like remember Mario 25, where they were all competing in a Mario game at the same time, and if they get knocked out,
they already made dungeons, just adapted for several.
Got it. Okay.
links.
All right. Yep, I missed it. My bad.
That would be fun.
Please.
Especially if you could beat each other up.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be all like their own specific dungeon. You can't really interact with others.
Just see their like
maybe send shadows. Monsters to others. Like, oh, you go that fast enough. You fill up a bar and then you just throw style foes into the room of someone next to you.
Okay.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. I think then this should be Superman Dave's.
Ooh. Yeah. So yeah, this is more like a dream kind of thing here. And I did not give myself a free space in the middle, but
that's whatever.
All right. So yeah, like
double your pride.
I'm a big fan of GameCube remasters because that console scales up really well on Dolphin. So like I think they're sitting on a gold mine with GameCube games that they could remaster. Obviously, there's like some stuff with the GameCube coming to NSO in the future. Who knows? But like there's lots of chances for remasters in the meantime. So that's why you're seeing a lot here. But anyway, yeah, Metroid Prime 2, obviously. I would really like to see a Donkey Kong Country Returns remaster from the Wii, because that I think they could do that game justice with just regular controls. Astral Chain 2, I think could happen. Since the first game was a success, and Nintendo has that IP now.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time. Kirby, obviously, they release a Kirby very, very often these days, so that's a easy thing they could announce for next year or something like that. Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, Metroid Prime 4, obviously, we gotta
I don't know about
that for
one.
that. Yeah, exactly. Wind Waker HD, obviously, and then Wave Race. I would love to see a Wave Race remastered from GameCube. Blue Storm's
True.
great game. I put Castlevania in there. That's not. I couldn't find just a regular logo. It's not Symphony of the Night. I would like to.
Yeah,
have
I'm
just
like that's
a
Alucard.
new,
Yeah, Symphony of the Night.
I would like to just have like a new Castlevania announced. So that's kind of like what that represents. Because that would be another perfect game like a Metroid Dread, for example, reviving Castlevania for the Switch would be great. I mentioned Link Between Worlds before, like a remaster of that from the 3DS. Twilight Princess, obviously, we know that's all these games are in their back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a Star Fox Adventures remaster.
I love that game. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah,
it's
so
great.
good.
Another game that they could do very little work to and just put it in HD and they look amazing. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Where's that game? I would love to see that game.
It would also look amazing in HD.
Yeah, like I don't understand why they're ignoring it, honestly, because I think it's
better than Galaxy 1.
Yeah, I actually think it's better than Galaxy 1. People disagree with me on that, but hey, like I think it's fantastic. It has Yoshi in it too.
Yeah.
And brand new Donkey Kong game. I think that's a very good chance of happening. Kid Icarus Uprising HD, Punch Out from the Wii. Come on, man, that game is fantastic. I would love to play that game in HD. 1080 Avalanche from the GameCube. I would love to see a remaster of that game. Obviously, Chrono Trigger. Nobody talking about Chrono Trigger. There was some talk about a revamped remaster of that game like a year ago.
Waiting for it.
So yeah, I would love to see that happen, like a Secret of Mana type of thing, how they did in these other games they're doing with Square. Something like that would be great. And then Star Fox Assault, obviously, love that game from the GameCube.
So yes,
and
might be the Bandai Namco remake that they're hiring for. Might be
Mad World. You guys ever play Mad World?
Yes. Oh hell yeah!
Dude, that's a wild one to throw on.
That game's great.
That's a mad one.
But that's an amazing game. So like people just didn't play it that much, but it's such a good game, man.
Man, I remember back in the day, it was one of those unfortunate titles that was like everyone was talking about it up until release, and then when it released, no one gave a fuck. And I'm like, bro, where are you guys, man? Y'all were hyping this game forever. Buy it.
It was also immediately in the discount bin at stores.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if it was, I understood the idea but I think if it was in color, actually, it would have done a little bit better. But since they put it in black and white and just the blood was red,
man, people are afraid of style.
The style was fantastic. I loved it, but I think it may have turned off. It was very niche, extremely niche because of that. But
well, I saw Godzilla -1 minus color this past weekend, and it's like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. So.
I saw that too, actually. It's great. But yeah, anyway, really I would love to see that come back in some way. It has the voice of Bender in it. The guy who does the voice of Bender is one of the announcers in the game. But yeah, it's a great game. FCO GX, obviously, another fantastic game. The upscale is amazing in 4K on Dolphin without even any
we're
work
seeing
to
that
the
game this year.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But such an easy port they could do for that. It's like a no-brainer. And it's like, revive it, please. Metroid Prime 3, that could come with Metroid Prime 2 when they announce it. You never know. I would love to see a rare replay collection on the Switch because it's on the Xbox only. It's not even on PC. So I would love to see that. Very unlikely, obviously, but you never know. Star Fox Zero port with standard controls in place, I think would be a much better game than the Wii U game. I don't think it's a bad game, but I think the Miyamoto factor kind of screwed that game up. Eternal Darkness, please, for the love of God, I would love to see that game in HD remastered.
Isn't the studio just like gone?
Yeah, but Nintendo owns the game, the IP.
Yeah,
so
they
can
own
just
the rights.
Remaster it with another company. And last but not least, I would love to see a Samus Returns HD port from the 3DS on the Switch.
I like how you made sure that Metroid were the four corners of your
four corners of the galaxy, buddy.
It's the whole foundation. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's my pie in the sky Nintendo Direct. But hey, some of that stuff probably will happen.
Yeah, I mean, all these are all like fantastic things. I mean, the only thing that's like looking at all, I feel like all these things at some point gotta happen. The only two that I'm like, will they ever happen are Eternal Darkness and Star Fox Zero.
Right.
Everything else kind of feels like
Yeah.
someday we're gonna see it repurposed in some way.
Yeah, like I said, you never know, but I mean, Eternal Darkness is such a great. It's a great game.
I mean, it deserves
I
to
would
be.
just really
I
love
agree
it.
with that. What was that team that was supposed to be like the spiritual successor? I think they had a project they were working on that was
Yeah,
canceled.
so it was it was a poorly funded Kickstarter, or like not Kickstarter, but it was a crowdfunding thing. They tried to crowdfund it called Shadows of the Eternals, and
That's right.
it didn't make it. And they were trying to make it for the Wii U, and it looked, and the concept trailer looked really good. And one of my best friends adores Eternal Darkness, and he actually gave like $100 to like Shadows of the Eternal, and then they refunded him because it didn't meet the quota. And I'm like, man, that sucks. It's like he was just like, oh man, I'm booting up Eternal Dark, because he still has his GameCube, but he boots that up like almost every day. And like, I feel really bad because the game is good, and I would love to see a follow up. But
I bet if that happened today, it would be better because you have a lot more streamers now and content creators who would definitely like push it.
and people
Right.
that actually give a shit about the Switch rather than the Wii U.
You
Yeah.
can't have Dennis Dyack being the front man for it. He was a big
Yeah,
reason it didn't
Too
go.
many lawsuits.
Oh yeah, that guy. So
Yeah,
he was
the front man on the Shadows of the Eternal.
yeah, he was the face of the Shadow of the Eternals thing, so which probably also didn't help. But yeah, they're gonna have to like do
Oh,
something
I'm not
else.
saying he can't work on it. I'm just saying he can't even be close to the marketing
Oh yeah, absolutely.
if they tried. So,
But you know he's gonna want to be.
well, yeah. I mean, I appreciate his love for the IP,
But you got to point out though, Nintendo does still own that IP actually, and
Mhm.
sitting there.
Yeah.
And they keep renewing the trademark. So hey, you know, might as well just.
I mean, we got I
HD.
forgot her name, but we got her in Smash Ultimate as a spirit. The main character,
Alexa or Alex.
Alex. Yeah, Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl.
I kind of think it's an interesting talking point though, because especially with Metroid Prime 4 hopefully being shown soon, right? Like that's a game that's gonna be geared towards a slightly older, more mature audience than usual for Nintendo games, right? And then we also have Bayonetta. Bayonetta's rated M, right? Or
Yes. Oh yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
It's
do
rated
sell
M,
at least
but
1 million
very
copies
silly.
per game. Yeah, I mean, but I guess my point is that like, between Bayonetta and hopefully a resurgence of like a more mature, I mean, Metroid is mature oriented. It's not mature rated, but you know what I mean. It's aimed at a more mature audience.
More dark side.
Samus doesn't joke, neither does her enemies.
Right. Yeah. Like it would be cool if Nintendo also was like, you know what, we got these 2 series that are going well. What if we went back to Eternal Darkness? Like I would love to actually see Nintendo like do this, because something I've been kind of thinking about in relation to Metroid, like because the conversation always is like, why does Metroid not sell? And I think there's a lot of reasons why. But in having conversations with a few different content creators, like something I've realized, something I think I've realized is that there's just a lot of Nintendo fans don't care about Metroid because it's not really something Nintendo like. Metroid feels almost non-Nintendo in a way, depending on how you look at Nintendo. I don't see it that
exactly.
way, right?
Yeah. Well,
But-
I see where they're coming from when people say that. Like, I understand the sentiment 100%. Like, Metroid and the entirety of that like series kind of stands out as a sore thumb among all the Nintendo franchises
Cartoony,
that have.
vibrant,
Exactly.
big eye things.
And then
yeah.
and then whenever you see marketing that is like always lighthearted, that has like Link, Mario, Isabelle, Pikachu and stuff, and then when Samus is there, she just feels so out of place. I'm like, remember it was like there was a singer in Japan that they were celebrating the removable faceplates of the new 3DS that came out only in Japan, and then it was showing off all these characters, Nintendo characters that get a makeover, right? And then Samus was there in her power suit and everything, and then she got a makeover, and then she felt so out of place compared to everyone else. And I'm like, see, that's like the biggest example to like that testament.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
So I mean, if Nintendo actually like started investing a little bit more into just being like I think Nintendo's more of a variety, right? They're not really kiddie, they're variety. They appeal to a large ranging audience. And so, it would be nice to see them branch out a little bit more so they do have kind of a better catalog of more mature-oriented games. I mean, we got 2. Bring back Eternal Darkness. Maybe have a new IP that's also kind of in that direction.
I agree.
that would be sick.
Switch 2, bring it.
Because I feel like
here's my only thing with Eternal Darkness is if you bring it back, you have to. It's a lot to do because you have to change a lot. Because we don't play games on CRT TVs anymore. Like having the channel, like you know what I mean. You have to like do stuff like maybe where like it
Like update the stuff that messes with your
Joy-Cons
TV.
disconnect.
Yeah.
Dead
You
pixels,
have to do that.
Joy-Con drift. These
And
are
Dead
the way that we
pixels.
save- the way that we
That's
save
terrifying.
games.
That's
No,
terrifying.
that's actually a really
That's
good
true
idea,
horror.
Andres. That would
Yeah.
be perfect. Like you're going in the like the opposite direction as you're
Right.
like, and people think it's that. That would be awesome. But you have to do that in so many little areas. Like even the way we save games isn't the same. So there's I think people
power
underestimate
going out.
how much
Ooh.
stuff like that
Hmm.
is in that game, which makes it like kind of require a lot more effort.
Still
You
would
know
be
what'd be
cool.
really crazy.
Still be
Be
awesome.
No,
honest,
it would be
somehow-
amazing.
Yeah.
It would be even
this-
cooler. Like to like it's a new experience then to do something like
Yeah,
that. On a modern
it's almost
platform.
like not a completely new game, but it makes it feel
Yeah,
really fresh.
Maybe
Do
there's some
Nintendo
certain
accounts
features
have
on
your
the
phone
Switch
number
too
on
that set
record?
it apart, and they
play it
need
just to see
something
what
to
crazy shit
showcase
they
it.
decided to do.
Do
Yeah.
Nintendo accounts have your phone on record? No,
I
right?
don't think so.
I don't think
No.
so. They have your email.
Email. It would be. I mean, depending on what happens, I sometimes get email notifications. But it would be interesting if like they could like text you or something.
Yo, imagine if it's a new Eternal Darkness or the Eternal Darkness game for a Switch, and then during the gameplay, like the Switch messes you by going into the home menu and selecting one of your games and like accidentally pulling it up, but it's not really that, and just goes back to
Oh.
Eternal Darkness. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
that-
Tears of the Kingdom, and it pulls it up like, no, I'm playing. Like,
Or they delete your save file pretending. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
corrupted file. Oh, I love it. I
From
think
a different
they're-
game.
nah, the dead pixel thing
Yeah.
fucks with me though. That's terrifying to me. Just like,
Especially
No,
if they're
like,
games-
They
don't-
find something crazy to do with the
But-
IR
but-
camera, I'm sure.
but-
too.
But it would be interesting. Like, if they do it, it's just 1 pixel, right? So you might not even notice. But after maybe 30 minutes, it bemes 2.
like it gets bigger and bigger.
Right, and like you start to really question what's going on. I love it. I love it. This is what they got to do. Nintendo.
They can't do like
Yeah.
the have the frame rate get messed up though because they already released games like at least Pokemon.
Mhm.
Everyone just playing the
Yeah.
game.
That was good. That was good.
That I like that. I like that. Can't go to
I
that
guess we-
realm, not on this
Well,
system.
I guess we already have
They,
Eternal
they will
Darkness
they will
then.
decrease the resolution to 240p.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Oh, can't do that either.
They turn on HDR by accident.
Mm.
The
Yeah, they make the game
PS1
look too
N64
good, like, hey.
faces.
Well, their games always look good. So besides Pokemon,
I mean, maybe it makes sense to not do a remake then, but like, well, I mean, if you do a remake, you are reimagining things. But so maybe that, or just a new game in the series.
They're
And
probably
new
you
game
looking
in the
for
series kind of makes
ideas.
sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Make
such
it
a
happen.
wild concept game that but have you guys all played Eternal Darkness yourself?
I
Yes,
have, yeah.
I have
I
not.
beat the game.
Yeah, so the way to beat the game for real is that you got to beat it, I think, 3 times, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's pretty dumb.
because it's these realities that are all connecting from different
Yep.
points of the universe to create one reality that fixes everything in the entire universe. So like you
Makes
got to play
sense.
through like 3 times. So it's a very like big, like grandiose concept game. So yeah, I can imagine remastering it would be a challenge because of all those things you mentioned. Or they can just leave it as is and just put it in HD and and be like, hey, just deal with it. This is a game from 2001 or 2002. So
I play it still.
I mean, it's a great game. Everyone should play it at least one time in their life.
mm-hmm. So we'll
All right,
see. But it is nice that they mentioned it in Smash Brothers as a a ghost or spirit.
Spirit. Yeah.
Spirit. Yep. All right, I just want to do yours next.
Sure. I guess I'll present it.
Yeah.
I hope there's not a new F-Zero on there.
Well, so I try to be really cautious about it. Like there are things that are not here that I do think are coming, but I just don't think they can be in this next direct. And obviously, I can totally be wrong. So,
You guys are gonna hate my card so much. I love it.
all right, it's
I got
ready
it.
to
I got
go.
it.
All right, so just disclaimer.
Man,
I
yours
didn't-
does not look as nice.
yeah,
Sorry, go
well,
ahead.
at least it's in widescreen.
And at
Take
least
that.
I don't have to like double check with people. Like, what did you mean by this picture?
But well, I mean, I
Oh,
still
pictures are fun. I like
they
that.
need a little bit. I made this during the live stream, so I was just kind of typing in things, and that still took me 2 hours. Anyway, so yeah, Metroid Prime 4. Can you guys see my mouse? No, you can't see my mouse. Oh, you can see it now, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, because I was pointing, I was using my mouse on the Streamlabs tab as opposed to. All right, I'm good. Yeah, so Metroid Prime 4. I think something interesting that we didn't mention earlier when we were talking about it. I bring this up whenever I kind of talk about Metroid Prime 4 as of late, but I feel like Metroid Prime 4 is in kind of like a Tears of the Kingdom situation right now. So after Tears of the Kingdom came out, we were told by Anuma that back in March of 2022, when the game was delayed, the game was actually basically complete. His words, basically complete. And so we waited until May of 2023 to actually get the game. And so we now have this info suggesting that Prime 4 has been in the playtesting stage since early last year. And so I kind of feel like we're in a similar sort of situation where Metroid Prime 4 is just being polished up and Nintendo's waiting for the right time to show it. And even though we knew about Tears of the Kingdom, right, we had seen some footage, a lot of fans those last few months before release were really getting antsy because Nintendo was being extremely quiet, like right before they actually needed to. And I think it's different, but I think there are similarities here. I think Prime 4, the lack of info isn't because it's not close. It's just Nintendo waiting to strike at the right perfect time. So anyways, I think we're definitely on Metroid Prime 4 watch. So it might be in the direct. So here it is. I guess going from left to right, I put here a non-game announcement, right? And so that's kind of meant to be like this. I'm trying to be strategic here. I'm trying to win. So like non-game announcement, this could be like maybe an update on the museum, maybe more details on the concert or the theme park, anything like that that's not necessarily about a game. That's what this spot is for.
Chris Pratt, he's so cool.
That could sure if Miyamoto comes on stage and says that. Yeah, and he's also going to play as Link.
The kids like that guy, right? We'll pick him.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job in the movie.
Yeah, I actually liked him as Mario. It was actually not bad.
Yeah. It gives me a little bit of faith for their choices for what happens with Zelda, but we'll see on that one. On that note of Zelda, I think there's a pretty good chance we get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And this is before I saw the Wolf Link Amiibo. So now I'm like, oh, this makes even more sense now. Yeah. I do think they're going to come together, though. So if we just get one, this is wrong. It has to be a collection pack.
Yeah, and that goes for anything that has multiple things on one square.
Oh, I'm glad you added extra.
So like Paper Mario and Luigi's Mansion, if you don't get both dates, you can't check that off.
True.
Yeah, but I think that one's that's a gimme. So I'm okay.
I don't know what a Paper Mario date's a give me.
All right. Well, you know what? Well, let me get to that spot. All right. I'm still on my fourth spot.
Well, it jumps up to have that man.
You know what, Nate?
We'll
cross that bridge when we get there.
So bricked up.
So
I'm so bricked up.
Another
right now.
GameCube game will get shadow dropped. What
GameCube game? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was I really don't believe we're ever gonna get a GameCube NSO.
I see where you're coming from with that. Yeah. I actually talked about because of the trademark, right? Like I was looking at like we got like N64 trademarks. Like we were talking about N64 Mini back in 2017, and we did get trademarks. But what it materialized into was N64 for NSO years later. And so I don't know. I think we could get GameCube NSO, but we're talking about 3-4 years from now. Like, so that would be a Switch 2 thing at that point.
Switch 2 thing, yeah.
But it doesn't make sense to me when they are not only remaking, but just remastering so many games.
Exactly. It's easier to do that and make more money.
It's a lot more money. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So you do that first and then release the old ones later as a value add.
Which is why I think we're gonna get a random GameCube game shadow dropped. It might be Metroid Prime 2, but I'll get to that one. But I could get a double dip here.
I can see them doing like GameCube NSO with like some of like the B list games.
Like Wave
then
Race,
everyone would just be disappointed the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't.
It's tough. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, if you do only like the B list, you still need to add the A list eventually. I will say, so for example, we had 3D All Stars, right? And 3D All Stars had Mario 64, right? Which is technically a remastered version of it, but then they still released Mario 64 on NSO later. So it can happen. I just think we got to wait a few years, but we'll see. Anyway, next spot. I think a Mario Sports title. I've been thinking like specifically Mario Baseball, but I said sports just to keep my options open. Camelot is due. It's been this year will be the next like 3-year gap where they conceive they seem to make a Mario Sports game every 3 years. So what's Camelot working on? Maybe they're bringing back the Mario Baseball series. I don't know. If
Mario
we get
Cricket.
Mario Cricket, let's go. Or, I would say I had this debate in my live stream on Monday, but if they announced Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, I'll give it to myself if that's what happens, but we'll see. This is another gimme, a DLC update. So if we just get some sort of new information about DLC for a Nintendo game,
I think you're cheating here. These
Yeah,
aren't
what?
Right? Like, hello?
Dude, that's like putting on your card like a video game is announced.
Yeah,
Well,
just
no,
wait till you see my
Basically the
card.
same
Well,
thing.
Just wait
So-
till you see my card,
well,
guys.
hold on a second.
no.
Hold on a
Oh,
second,
screw
though. I
you,
don't
man.
I don't think it's that much.
Dude,
of
you're
a
almost
gimme, though.
making me not bricked up.
Might as well say announcement happens.
I made the
okay.
okay.
All right. Well, no. Let me explain though.
The two people who came up with this idea are going to get shit on the most.
All right. So let me
The
explain.
word Nintendo will be said.
Tears of the Kingdom has had no DLC. Tears of the Kingdom has had no DLC announced. They've told us no DLC is coming. Pikmin 4 has had no DLC announced. Mario Wonder has had no DLC announced. Usually most main Nintendo games, if they're getting DLC, they're either announced right beforehand or right afterwards. And all these games have passed that window. And so I think because we are going to Switch 2, there's a strong chance we don't get a DLC update for any major Nintendo game. So I actually am nervous about putting DLC update.
No. DLC update is getting swapped out for Tommy Bear knows 100%.
What?
You should have been live stream on Monday. You would have been able to sway my decision here. Too late. Anyway,
Tommy Bear
High
knows this
Five
too.
Rush, baby. I think
Yes.
there's a chance this could happen. I mean, I'm not the only one that suggested it already, right? I saw
Hi-Fi
it.
Rush.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I saw that it was rated for Switch, but then I saw someone say that was not true. I haven't looked into this.
Yeah, it was
But,
rated for all. Wasn't it rated for all consoles?
That's why
PS4.
that's
yeah.
the headline I saw, but I didn't do a lot of heavy
Switch.
research on it. So, I assume it is. I've only seen one person say it's not. I also it's the internet, right? People say all sorts of things.
Oof.
I haven't
Yeah.
even seen the headline, but I was not doing
Yeah.
much today, so
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's a good one that could happen. Honestly, the Donkey Kong one, I didn't want to put it, but my chat was like, believe in the monk, and I was like, all right. So Donkey Kong announcement, here we go.
believe in the monk.
Yeah, I didn't want to put this one either. I almost wanted to put Mini instead, but
It's not
the
a.
chat
It's not a Tuma.
live stream thought I should put not a Mini. So I guess here we got a not a Mini option. We'll see on that one. I do feel good about Metroid Prime 2. I think all of us have put Metroid Prime 2, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, there we go. Kirby seems to happen almost every year. A part of me actually speculates that we might have a break year because I think they're just going to make another Forgotten Land, like the sequel to it, and it's going to be amazing. But that wouldn't come out till at least next year. But anyway, I'm putting Kirby just because it still usually happens. They might squeeze in like an eShop title.
That's probably the name of the game. Another Forgotten Land.
Another Forgotten. Actually, not a bad idea. Yeah, no, you're the one that did a good job there. You discovered it. Anyway, to the dates, which I was being attacked for. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get dates for both, but Nintendo has been putting a lot of trailers on social media, so maybe they put the dates there before the direct, which would then ruin this bingo spot. But we'll see. Also, both these games have been rated by the ESRB. Like, they're both ready. So, Switch 2 hint. So when I say Switch 2 hint, in my live stream I explained like anything that we're like, oh, that's a Switch 2 hint. Like if this ends up being a partner direct, Switch 2 hint, right? Or if we see something like the colored buttons we saw in the last direct, right, where there's a whole bunch of games that have them, that would call that a Switch 2 hint. Something that we're like, really feels like this is hinting at Switch 2. So that's pretty much what that is. It's in my free spot, but it's not technically free. So this one is a Team Asano game. So like, like the triangle strategies, the Bravely Default 2s. Apparently they're planning to make announcements this year. So maybe they announce another one of those
Dragon
HD
Quest
2D
3.
games. Oh, yeah, maybe that.
Mm.
That'd be cool. NSO update. I feel like that's, decent chance we get more NSO games. So there's that. Fire Emblem, probably the remake. What, Genealogy of the Holy
Genealogy
War.
of the Whole War. Yep.
Yeah. I definitely think we're in the window, right? I've personally predicted early next year, but it could happen at any point. So another Nintendo remaster remake that's not basic. So basic would be like Pikmin 1 and 2. And basic also might be Metroid Prime 2. So this wouldn't count unless it does look like the original. I feel like it's going to be more basic though. I'm talking like, like 1,000 Year Door level or Mario vs. Donkey Kong, where they're literally adding new content. It's visually like redone. So that's what this would be. New Peach costumes from Princess Peach Showtime. I think that's a kind of one of those gimmies.
Yeah.
Yeah. A free game. So like, something that we can like, it's free to play or we can like jump into to start it off, or maybe like a Tetris 99 thing, something that you don't need to spend money for on top of what you already done. Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door, new content. So like maybe like a Luigi's Quest
Post game.
Like
oh
Post-game
man, I would
content.
love Luigi's Quest. Oof.
Yeah. It just feels like it would fit because it's like right there. You just when you talk to him,
And he has all his partners and stuff.
Yep. It would be awesome. So, you see I'm covering my bases here, right? Like I'm thinking something Zelda, right? So if I don't get Wind Waker Twilight Princess, maybe I get a 2D Zelda remake or a new 2D Zelda. So that's what I'm going for with that one. Amiibo, I feel like there's a pretty solid chance we'll get some type of Amiibo announcement in the direct. That usually happens. I'm not a Tamagotchi Life guy, but Tamagotchi Life sold like crazy on 3DS, and Miitopia
now I'm bricked
got
up.
remastered. It sold really well on Switch, so it
That
just feels
pushed
like
you over the edge.
there's a lot of money to be made here. So it just makes sense for Nintendo to put this on Switch eventually. So here we are. Multiple farming games. I think there's going to be more than one farming game that we'll see in the direct. I know
That's the entire direct.
Yeah,
That's
Spoiled.
the entire direct.
that is the entire direct. Pretty
It's been
much.
pretty close to in the past being the entire direct.
Yeah. And here I have Piora 100%. In other words, that guy, Piora on Twitter, who always hints, pretty much leaks to every direct the last like year or so. I think it's going to happen again. He's not going to leak everything, but there are going to be some things that he'll say, and he's going to be 100% right. And that is my bingo card.
It's very interesting.
Which of your predictions gets you the most bricked up?
Metroid Prime 4.
Nice.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Andres, I'm surprised you didn't go free game in the free space.
Yeah. Well,
Come on. It was right there.
Well, I could argue I didn't want to avoid confusion.
Oh, boy.
But
I suppose.
yeah. I also felt like Switch to Hint is basically a free because like you could take anything and interpret it how you will, right?
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a pretty realistic one. Trying to get everything right. Hey, I mean, I'll say this: you have an outside shot at a blackout, but probably not.
I think the left column is definitely wrong. I feel terrible at the left column.
DLC update? Are you kidding me?
I don't think we're getting 2D Zelda, Fire Emblem, Kirby, and Metroid Prime 4 in the same direct. Yeah. I do feel good about my right column, though. Like that one I think is pretty strong.
Well, also your second one, like a cross. Kind of cheap, but that's fine. Well, Donkey Kong, I guess, is kind of out there.
I think that's a toss-up at best.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, I'll mention one last thing. I was talking about this the entire time Monday night. This diagonal, Metroid Prime 4, Hi-Fi Rush, Switch 2, Hint, free game, pure 100%. That's what I'm really pulling for to be right. That means Metroid Prime 4 being in the direct, though.
I mean, look, any of the ones that have Metroid Prime 4 and you just pull for that, period.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look, I don't even need the bingo. I just need that corner. The top left corner needs to hit, period. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I see what's going on. That's cool. Jake, do you have anything you want to add? I know you didn't fill one out.
He just wants to talk shit about all of our.
If I
bingo
filled one
cards.
out, I would win because every square would just be gets me bricked up,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
every one would come true.
I would.
every announcement,
You
so
would
I'm just
have to
gonna
live
enjoy it.
stream.
I'm
You would
gonna
have to live
enjoy it.
stream the direct or watch it with one of us, and we'll have to like record every single one of your reactions to every single announcement. And if you don't get
How
bricked up,
Just
you
be
can-
like, oh
yeah,
god,
you lose.
Ah! It
Yeah.
hurts.
How bricked up are
Yeah.
you really? I guess we see on the live stream.
A bricked up meter.
Bricked up meter. That's great.
I'm actually very nervous that my bingo card's gonna be wrong. Just saying.
That's all right. See,
Entirely?
if we're getting mad at your bingo card,
Oh god.
my audience knows what my bingo card is because they helped me fill it out. But the panel is going to be very angry at my bingo card.
Oh
But I
boy.
also think my bingo card has an outside shot to almost be a blackout, save one spot that's just I put a wild dream in there. It is what it is. So it might be a little boring, but also a little interesting. And also a little, well, yeah, you gave yourself a lot of ways to get things right. Sure as hell did.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Cheap. Oh, and there's no pictures. This is
No.
bullshit.
Something Metroid. All right.
Yeah.
Something Kirby.
this is
Oh,
Just
keep farming.
Yeah,
Disqualified.
you guys are going to be angry. I already know. It's already
No.
happening. I haven't even said anything yet.
Damn
Let me-
franchise revival. Man, what?
Here we go.
Can I ask? All right.
All right. My goal was to get all these right. I worked hard with the chat on this. The goal was to try to get everything right. Some things got specific, some things didn't. To give
Yeah,
myself a
Switch
little
2 's
leeway.
the one.
Then why'd
the
you put
only
Silk
one that-
Song?
Hey,
I
a farming sim game
I
appears.
said
That's
some
cheating.
things got specific, some things got a bit
Indie
more
game
generalized.
where you
Because here's the
play
thing.
as an animal?
Those that don't know, one of the rules that I'm holding the people who submit their bingo cards for the chance at prizes to is that you can't have anything on your bingo chart that can get you 2 spots correct with one announcement. So if that happens, both spots are eliminated. So I held myself to that same rule. Now, that was not a rule for you guys. That was just a rule for the contest entry. So that way you can prevent yourself from like just basically saying a bunch of the same thing in different ways on the chart. So my
Video
chart
game.
has nothing that could actually be the same. There's one thing that could be, but I don't think it's going to happen and unlikely, but I took the risk anyways. So that's why I'm like, well, something Metroid, right? Yeah, I think something Metroid is going to happen. I think it's probably just only going to actually be a shadow drop of Metroid Prime 2. I don't think they're even going to talk about Metroid Prime 4, but if they do, that still counts because I just think something Metroid's going to happen. I
Can
think
ask you a
it's
question.
just time for that. Yeah, what's up?
What if a Nintendo executive comes up on stage to talk about another random Nintendo game that's not Metroid, but they're wearing a Metroid pin? Does that count as something Metroid?
Metroid appeared. Something Metroid.
He will.
But
argue-
here's the
he
thing.
will argue
Here's the thing.
tiniest
There's
minute
not going to
thing.
be anyone coming up on stage. They don't do that anymore. So I'm not
Yeah, they
worried.
do it sometimes.
Nah,
All right. Well, here's
not
another
really.
example. Here's another example. Remember the Origami King trailer? At the end, they had Mario running around in a Samus helmet. Would
Sure.
that count as something Metroid?
Sure.
That's bullshit.
SOB.
Yep.
Something Metroid. That's all it's
All
got to be.
All right, fine.
All right. Next up, an Xbox published game. It's probably Hi-Fi Rush, but I wanted to leave it a little bit more open-ended because I don't know that they're going to announce that right now. They could wait. I don't even know that it's actually coming to Switch. It could be Switch 2. So I'm going to sit back and be like, you know what? It could be something else. It could be more rare games coming to NSO, as an example. That those are Xbox published games now. It could be another smaller indie title that they publish. You know, like we've already gotten the Ori games and stuff like that. So I think there will be something. I think it will be Hi-Fi Rush, but I wasn't confident enough to do that because I keep telling myself Hi-Fi Rush was actually a more recent release and they might want better hardware for it.
Rare replay.
Especially because it's very much a music, you know, like in beat with the music, frame rate actually matters.
Yeah,
for
it
stuff like
matters.
that. So that's why I'm like, it kind of feels like that could be something they wait for Switch 2. But I do think there'll be something because I don't know. I mean, here's the weird thing, and I told myself this is cheap if I take it. If there's anything Minecraft related, that's Xbox too. So, but whatever. I'm taking a Metroid pin if it pops up, so it is what it is. A farming sim game appears. I actually don't think there's going to be a shit ton of farming sims, but I think there will be one. I think that's just a safe bet that we're at least going to get one. Something Kirby. I want to go like for a New Forgotten Land. I don't know that that's going to be the case here. They might save that for the next system. It could be. There's just so many different possibilities for Kirby. It could be bringing back.
I want to institute a new rule. Well,
and
Nate doesn't get to vote on it, but the rest of us do. Nate's the host. If two people have the same thing on their bingo card, the one that is more specific, if that is correct, they are the ones that get the bingo chip.
What are you talking about? Everyone's own bingo
so
card.
If Metroid Prime 2 gets released, whoever has Metroid Prime 2 gets it. Whoever has something Metroid doesn't get it.
Yeah, it says the person who didn't fill out a bingo card. Even
okay, you don't get a vote.
Anyways,
all those opposed? Nobody? Okay.
So this one, host will wear a suit jacket. I just wanted to guarantee I get one right. And that was a Joycey J suggestion. So it just made the list. Host will wear a suit jacket. And I want it to be the one time they wear just a t-shirt without a suit jacket.
Chat agrees.
It's fair. I think it's fair.
Hey, chat, I'm the one paying for the prizes, so it's irrelevant.
Damn.
Switch 2, that's the pipe dream. That's the pipe dream. Literally announced Switch 2. Not a hint. Switch 2 is announced. Period. So that one I didn't want to make that general. That is literally an announcement.
Yeah, I didn't do a bingo card, so I'll be the moderator.
I probably would count it if it was an announcement of a Switch 2 announcement as well. Like if they're going to say, "Hey, tune in."
You're in the race. You're biased. I'm the one that will count things and not count things.
But, yeah, unfortunately, you don't. You know what, Jake? I will gladly let you be the moderator. You can go through the hundreds of submissions and figure out everyone's bingos if you want from. That'd be great.
No, I'm doing it for the panel.
Well, there's nothing on the line for the panel, so it doesn't really matter.
There's glory.
So it's fine then. And I'll take a load off your plate a little bit.
No, because you're already going to disqualify all of mine. So
no, I'm not. No, I would actually be fair. I wouldn't actually do that.
Nintendo selects or a related lineup, so a discount lineup announced by Nintendo. None of you guys had that on there, so I think this.
Yeah, I intentionally didn't.
I don't think this is a for sure thing, of course, but they've discontinued a lot of physical games, and I think that's because they're going to bring them back.
Yeah, no, I agree that they're coming back.
I don't know if they're going to announce it now, but I don't know.
Yeah, so the reason I didn't put it in mine is just because I don't think Nintendo's going to announce any sort of price drop or discounts during the Direct. I can't think of a time that they've announced.
They've done in the past with prior directs. So that I went through prior directs to find that they have announced new games for Nintendo Selects and stuff in the past. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if they're going to call it Nintendo Selects. That's why I said or related, because they've used other terminology in the past. So if they don't return to that, then they might use. Well, I forgot what the other popular one they used to use.
I just want to say if they remind you of the discount voucher thing, that doesn't count.
No.
Unless they make it
a line of discounted games, not a voucher. No. New NSO games just appear. There's not even a guarantee there will be NSO games. They're not in every direct.
No.
But hey, this also gives me the whole thing. Hey, if GameCube happens, there's probably new NSO games in there. And they're not just going to say GameCube's coming. Of course, they could, and then that would piss me off. It wouldn't count, but it is what it is. A Donkey Kong. This is where I got specific. A side-scrolling Donkey Kong. Now, originally, when I put this on here, I wanted to leave it open to put a 3D Donkey Kong game on as well. And then I decided no, because I'm actually trying to win. I think the new Donkey Kong game that's been rumored all this time is going to be a side-scrolling one. And this will be a brand new game announcement. One of the only brand new game announcements that they have that is actually published by Nintendo. Because I don't think they feel like a side-scrolling Donkey Kong game needs to wait for the next system.
Maybe it's like Metroid Dread style or Jungle Beat style, where there's a lot of moments where it kind of changes perspective into 3D.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that way. It could be. It's not like I know. I don't have any.
It's not
country,
I
see a bet that I'd like to make with you on your square, but
it's not country because they just want to go in a different direction than country did with the side scrolling. But I don't know what that's going to mean.
Yeah, it's like scroll to the left instead of the right.
Scroll to the left.
That would throw people for a loop. Let's do it.
It would. Nate, you were looking for players.
They got to hire you, Andre.
Player's choice. Yeah, player's choice was the other one I was thinking of. Besides Nintendo Sucks. Then so I got something Professor Layton. I know there's a new Layton game announced for 2025. I don't know if that's what they're going to show here. But I think just something Professor Layton. I don't know what it's going to be. That's why I said something. It could just be bringing old games back or something else. No idea. Dead franchise revival. Now the key thing here is it has to be at least 10 plus years since we've had a last entry. Now someone pointed out that Donkey Kong could count for that, and I just note that I don't consider that a dead franchise because even though we haven't had a standalone Donkey Kong game, we did get Tropical Freeze re-release, so I don't count it as dead because they literally re-released the damn Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on Switch. And on top of that, we also have the Donkey Kong versus Mario game. So I know they're old games, but they came back, which means those aren't dead. They're still actively used characters and actively used IPs.
What would you make of Star Fox? Because Star Fox Zero came out 2016.
That's not 10 years old.
Yeah,
It's
and also had
dead.
the Starlink content.
It won't count because it's not. It's got
And
to
then
be
also
10 years.
they released
Here's
Star
the thing.
Fox 2.
I can't
twice.
just be like, oh, 2016. Oh, so 7 years ago. Have you seen how long game development takes? That's not even considered dead.
I mean, you could argue, people would have said 2D Mario's dead, right? But it wasn't. It just took a long time.
So that's why then the chat came up with the years. I said, hey, chat, what should we do for like how long should it be? And they said 10 plus. And then that question came up with Donkey Kong. I said, no. If it's a game they've already brought back
So what is a dead franchise then?
It's got to be like dead.
What's a dead franchise?
Like F-Zero wouldn't count now because F-Zero 99.
Punch Out.
So Punch Out. Punch Out would
Wave
be
Race.
one. Yep.
Wave Race.
Snowboard Kids.
Star Tropics.
Yep. Star Tropics. Yep. And I know some people go NSO. We're not counting if they put the games on NSO. That's just the original games.
When did Kid Icarus Uprising come out? It's close.
That might
That
be
was-
almost 10. Yeah, this is one of those ones where I might actually have to do some math as I'm watching the damn show to see if it actually
still out after the fact.
But either way, look, there's a lot of possibilities for it, but it's not going to be a lot of the obvious ones that people think it is because I wouldn't count them because they've been brought back and remastered / remade.
Kid Icarus Uprising is a dead Nintendo franchise. Apparently, came out March 2012.
Bring it back.
There you go.
Bring it
There
back.
you go. Come on, Kid Icarus Uprising. Anyways,
How about Rusty's Real Deal Baseball? Remember that?
No.
game?
oh hell yeah, dude! I enjoyed that game.
2013.
3DS, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
When did Pushmo come out?
Pushmo.
Well, there's a trilogy. It's
Sequels though, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Still new.
So Princess Peach Showtime trailer, probably a given. That's probably one that will for sure happen. I didn't want to name anything. I just said a trailer will happen. A Sonic game is shown. Look, it's probably going to be the Generations thing, but it could be something else.
Does that count?
Could be something else. Is it a Sonic game?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it won't count.
Then what are we talking about here?
By the
It's
way,
a
I just want to
Sonic.
say you threw me off because you went left to right. Then
I know. I'm
left,
throwing you
right.
off. I like to keep you on your toes.
Is it when I told you about the left scrolling side Donkey Kong
it is.
game? You're like,
Yes, it
let's
is.
just reverse
Yes,
everything.
it is. Thank
Okay.
you for connecting the dots. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Anyways, a Sonic game is shown, and you know what? It's in my free space. So this isn't even a guarantee it's going to happen. But yeah, and like this could happen too. It could be crazy. There could be a Game Gear announcement for NSO that has to show Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic.
I'm
Jump.
just assuming we're gonna get the same trailer, or maybe like a slightly different version.
I have no idea. It might not. I'm not even going to assume we're getting the Generations thing.
It's already announced for Switch.
I don't care. I'm not assuming it's going to be in this direct. Just they might not need to because they just showed it.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be there if there is a direct.
So I wanted to get some indie stuff in, of course. So Pizza Tower, very popular indie game, isn't on Switch. Don't know why it's not. Should be. So Pizza Tower. All right. More indie stuff. This was, I forgot who suggested this one. But I was like, you know what? It's probably going to happen. An indie game where you play as an animal.
Question about that. Because
that's
technically
original.
humans are animals.
Yeah, no, we're not counting that, obviously.
So
That's the idea.
non-human animal.
Yeah, non-human animals.
Okay.
Yes, I know. But like an insect, one count. That's not an animal. So like Hollow Knight, one count. That's a bug. Hollow Knight's a bug. Yes. Not an animal. Moving on.
A bug is a okay.
No. They're in completely different categories than the animal kingdom. They're in the insect kingdom.
They're within the animal kingdom.
They're in
Insects
the
Yeah,
Twilight
they are.
Kingdom.
Wait, I'm googling it right now.
I know half the people are good.
Rut-row.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah,
Also,
they
Google
are
what
animals.
brick up means if you don't know.
For me, so.
If you don't know what bricked up means, Google it now as well.
Oh,
Are
jeez.
bugs?
Don't
They
Google
are animals.
that.
Yeah. Insects are part of the Animalia
Animal.
kingdom.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
then that
animals.
just makes it even more likely that I'm right. So works for me. All right,
Insects are part of the group of animals known as arthropods.
sweet. I'll take that victory.
Asteroids.
New Nintendo mobile game.
But
Nobody
it's also a
predicting
loss.
Nintendo
You
doing
said,
anything with
you
mobile
said
game.
that it wasn't true, and it was true.
Yeah,
So what?
insects are animals.
Okay,
So
I
it's
don't
not
care
a
that-
victory.
guys.
Hey,
realize
just
it
so you
doesn't
know,
matter
fish
that
are
I'm wrong?
animals too.
You realize
Fish
all
are
you do
also
is-
animals,
Yeah,
as are
yeah,
birds.
Yeah, you want
and
to know
turtles.
what has two thumbs and is an animal? This guy.
It was an
You didn't
Animal
help me.
Crossing.
But here's the
That just
problem. Here's
happened.
the problem.
There
If
we
the
go.
only game that shows, here's the say, if an indie game shows and it's Silksong, I have Silksong on my list. It would actually disqualify both spots.
All right, here's a derailing question. If an alien life form that's humanoid comes to Earth, does that count as an animal?
No.
It's an alien.
I
Fair
don't
enough.
think aliens are counted as animals yet, are they officially?
Well,
No.
I don't think we have.
It
any
is a
doc-
foreign
You
life
covered
form.
alien bacteria.
Yeah. So what does that alien bacteria fall under the? Like, is that? I don't.
No,
all
I
right,
think
this is a-
bacteria falls under the animal anything.
I know,
Guys, I
man.
would love to continue this conversation, but there's the point where I got Nate already knows.
It's okay. Hey, you made it this long. This
Yeah,
is like
this
a
is the
new
part
record.
where I tap out. You already know because I got
New
a
record,
screenshot
you,
to
man.
do.
Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Take
See ya.
it easy, everyone.
Later, buddy.
Laters.
Anyway, so I have a new Nintendo mobile game. Obviously, don't know what it's going to be, but Nintendo has closed down some mobile games lately. So like, if they do Pikmin Blue, Miyamoto's doing some weird Pikmin Blue ad again. That wouldn't count. That's not new. I think they're going to announce a new mobile game. I went specific with the thing that Andres went more generalized on. Nintendo Museum news. It's opening soon, and they literally already put it in a direct. So why would they do it again when we're even closer to the damn thing opening? Like, we haven't seen like anything inside. Like, I feel like they'll tease some stuff to get people excited to want to come to Japan to go visit that. A Zelda remaster or remake. Was specific in there because I don't know. Grezzo remake could drop. It could just be Twilight Princess, Wind Waker HD. I actually don't think those games are going to be bundled together, but it doesn't really matter. If they're there, I win with that spot. So, Mario Sports game. I'm actually not that confident that we're going to get a Mario Sports game. I'm almost thinking they're going to hold off till the new system. But like, there's other sports they could get into. Like Sluggers is the one a lot of people bring up. I have no idea. Like
Slugger. I hardly
yeah,
know.
here we go. I hardly know.
Sorry,
her.
sorry.
Anyways,
Striker. All right.
something
Oh my
Earthbound
God.
related.
I didn't say anything.
So, I chose to include this one because the official Earthbound account teased that they are doing stuff for the 30th anniversary. And since that's the case, while none
No
of their
way.
teasing and details included Earthbound games, I think they're going to talk about something Earthbound in here for the 30th anniversary.
One was
Something
wild.
Earthbound
Like,
related.
just think about this for a moment. Nintendo could have a direct and not give us any new games, and it could still be extremely hype. They could announce a Mother 3 localization. They could
but-
announce Metroid Prime 2, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, and it would be one of the most hyped directs ever, even though there
To be
wouldn't be
fair,
a single new
It would
game
only
there.
be hype for hardcore Nintendo fans. The general audience might not give a shit.
Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I think, would garner significant attention.
I mean, Skyward Sword HD didn't with the general audience, nor did Link's Awakening. It was just the hardcore Zelda fans that were excited.
I mean, Link's Awakening sold 6.5 million.
Okay, and Breath of the Wild sold 30 million. I'm talking the general audience of Switch, not the hardcore Zelda fans.
Well, I mean, what are you expecting to do with this direct? There's not going to be any 30 million seller in this direct.
Exactly. So no matter what, it's not like it's a hype direct for hardcore fans.
But
not
but the
general
thing is,
audience.
I think in the case for most directs, it's not a thing, right? Most directs have like Xenoblade ending the show, or like Splatoon's like Splatoon's big is
Or
the
like
biggest thing
when Tears of the
recently.
Kingdom ended shows, and then Mario Odyssey ended shows, and Smash Bros ended shows, and
Those were years
Animal
ago.
Crossing ended shows. There's been like all their big hitters have ended shows.
I'm just saying, like, we're not expecting the biggest direct ever. We're expecting a
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
said. I just disagree with you that it's a super hyped direct by having just a port. Well, I'll tell you this: I'm not going to be hyped if it's just a bunch of ports and remasters. That's
Well,
not going to hype me up
I
at
will.
all because I
Thanks
don't.
for
I don't
saying
replay
that.
games. I legitimately just don't really replay games. So like, it's going to be the most boring direct ever. If it's just a bunch of ports and remasters of games.
I
I've
just
already-
want to, I think you should also acknowledge you are in the minority.
I mean, look, you could say minority, but then just look at how well the games sell compared to the brand new games. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it
You know
at
what's
that.
funny? we've definitely talked about this before. I feel like you definitely disagreed. Because I brought up, remakes tend to sell worse than new games, and you're like, nah. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
I mean, they do sell worse than new games usually. Usually, not always. Final Fantasy is like an exception right now too. Final Fantasy 7 is hype.
That's not really a remake though.
I know technically it's not a remake.
Yeah,
They got to stop putting the word remake in it when it's not technically a remake. But they did
Well,
that to trick you with that first one.
It is and it isn't. It's a play on words. But yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'll go back to Link's Awakening. That game sold 6.5 million.
I'm glad that I said this one because no one else had on the list. A Square Enix HD 2D RPG, a new remake or a remastered one.
I mean, I actually did.
Well, I said Chrono Trigger.
I said a new Asano game. That's the developer.
Yeah. But you guys went
games.
like it could be any of the Square developers. It doesn't have to be those specific ones. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Silk Song appears. Look, hope, dream, pray. It keeps saying every year it's coming out, and then it doesn't. It was supposed to come out like in the first half of last year. Then it didn't. Now it's listed for this year. Might get listed for 2025. Might take another 10 years. I don't know what's going on at Team Cherry. Point is, maybe it's time for them to pop their cherry and drop Silk Song back into a direct. Because the last time we saw it was an Xbox event, and that was cool, and that was hype, and I'm really glad Xbox fans are going to get this game. Come on, man.
But wouldn't that be shown in an indie direct though?
No, it's too big. It's too big. Just like you said,
do see-
Power. They do put indie games in standard directs, but they're always like bigger ones. So
Okay.
I think Silk Song is a big enough one. I mean, it was so big that Nintendo even had it in their booth back in 2019 and E3. You could actually play it back then. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How long that game?
Maybe they delayed Silk Song for Switch 2.
Could. I don't know. And Xbox put it in one of their big events, so it's being treated as a bigger indie game. So I think it would be put in a standard direct, but I don't know. I know Nintendo fans just want to see it because a lot of us got nervous when we saw it in the Xbox thing, and it didn't mention any platform on it except Xbox, and we're like, did they take this away from us? Did Xbox buy this? There's a lot of questions around it because we haven't seen it since then. So yeah, let's just see what happens. I think by the way, I think it's just going to be on all platforms. I think that's all that's really going on. But Splatoon 3 DLC trailer or info. This is just because they haven't really given us much, and I don't think there's enough time to do a dedicated thing for it because Pokemon Day is coming up. So I think that like they're going to do kind of the blowout here, and then there'll be like a final trailer before it comes out.
They got like a week before Pokemon Day, right? So
yeah. So it's
when
like
it comes
kind of
out,
like yeah. So it's kind of like they'll do a final trailer, but I think they'll do some hype in this to try to remind people that it's coming.
At the end of the day, it is also DLC. I mean, I think they're treating it like an expansion. Like it seems pretty significant, but
yeah, they're treating it like it's one of the bigger expansions they've done.
I mean, the game came out in 2022. Actually, like it's been a year and a half.
Yeah,
that's a long time. And also, the first wave of the DLC was just a hub area.
Coy about a lot with this one. They haven't told us a ton.
It's just it's weird that they've waited this long. I wonder if they've intentionally waited just so they have more content for the first half.
Probably.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Remake or Remaster. Look, we get remakes and remasters of Fire Emblem games like all the time. There's been a rumored one for quite some time. Just in case it wasn't that one, I wanted to be like, yeah, what if it's a different one? We'll see. I'm kind of confident in the Fire Emblem one, and I am confident in the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD date. I do think that's going to happen. It's listed as a summer game. I think they'll announce the date now. They're not going to wait till like a June direct to do it. I think they'll announce it now because by then we could be talking about Switch 2 and that could overshadow that sort of announcement. So I think they'll announce it now. You'll notice I didn't put 1,000 Year Door trailer or date. I actually don't think they're going to show 1,000 Year Door at this event. I think it is going to be saved for a summer showcase, and they're going to talk about it being a cross-gen title, and that is why it's in the second half of 2024.
It was one of those moments where I was both mad and excited at you at the same time.
That's just a prediction. That's obviously not on my thing. They obviously could show the damn thing, right? They've already shown it. So like, yeah, they could just show it again. But it's one of those things that because they're so like, they're not, like Luigi Mansion, it's summer, 1,000 Year Door. Oh, it's just 2024. Oh, okay. That you were very specific for one, but the other one you're just giving a general.
But we've all seen Nintendo, throw us for a loop with release
Oh,
dates
sure.
before. Like
Sure.
they've dropped games sooner than expected.
Oh,
They've
they could
changed
literally
dates
shadow
afterwards.
drop the game during the direct
Yeah.
for all I know. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
they
don't-
could
you don't
because
know what
both games have been are content complete. We know that because they've been ESRB rated.
yeah, I know.
So
So I don't know. I feel like it's a fairly realistic one. Save the Switch 2. I think everything else at least has a chance.
yeah, we'll say, and also Silk Sound, but it might be
It
here.
has a
You never
chance.
know.
The last time we saw it was also in an early no, that was late year. Never mind. That was a late year Xbox event that they showed it, not an early one. So anyway,
Yeah, there's a chance.
I mean, there's a chance. I feel like it's been like over a year since we've seen it. All right, there's a chance. It's like anyone that puts Silk Song on their list just guarantees that's not going to get filled out. But you never know. You hope.
It's all
I
good.
thought it was pretty good. I thought I did all right. I just knew that Andres had community help, so I'm like, I need community help. I need to beat him. That's the only person I care about beating. If I lose to everyone else, look. If I lose to Super Metal Dave, or if I lose out to like HMK, you guys have better ones anyways. Your list
took
is
the
so
time to
much
put on the
better. The
images.
games are so much more hype. I'd rather those lists be true.
Yeah. I want to point out that mine was for fun.
So was mine.
So was mine.
And then you're the one that brought up, I want to win. I don't care about prizes. This is for pride.
Yes,
You made it more competitive.
it's
so
a
I don't-
yeah. Well, that competition is fun.
Well,
We'll take you out to
then-
Round
then-
Table
then my
Pizza
competition is
afterwards.
going to beat your competition.
Oh, I want pizza. I am
Why are we talking about food?
because I'm hungry.
10,000 Noodles says he'll beat me in rock, paper, scissors. So that's a thing that could happen.
Well, there's a 50% chance that'll happen.
Yeah, right. Happens. All right. Let's get to the Q&A section to round out our show tonight. You guys can get your questions in just by super chatting. We already had some questions and stuff in. But thank you so much for the ones that have already done it. And
First
obviously, if you guys-
question. The answer is yes, I still am.
well, then I'll throw this one out there because that must be the first question. Yes, you still are the penis man. We have established this.
No, it says Ken
what's
is man.
OnlyFans? What's the OnlyFans again?
Onlyfans.com/2inch destroyer.
There it is.
People get so focused on the 2-inch, they don't hear destroy.
Destroy.
It's
That
also
makes it sound like
arguably
you
a
destroy
penism.
everyone who has 2 inches. I'm a
You
little.
don't know.
You don't know. You gotta be there.
No one is safe from the 2-inch destroyer.
Okay. I gotta show this one. Taker 610 holding up his end of a bargain on a bet he had with me, where he dropped the 50 on the last day of the month. He said, even though Nate forgot, I didn't actually forget. I just wasn't gonna force you to do it. There's a difference. Anyways, I made this bet and I lost, so I must pay up. The bet was Switch 2 would be unveiled in January. If I lost, a $50 super chat was owed, and if Nate lost, I would reenact my E3 Just Dance routine. A moment of silence for Team January. No, more like a moment of silence for all of you that do not get to see my epic Just Dance routine.
Well,
Perform live.
technically January's not over yet.
Well, I mean, it's over in like 45 minutes, and it's already over in Japan. So I think the idea of Switch 2 being announced in the next hour is probably null and void. But anyways,
Okay.
I'd refund them the money if it happens, but it's just not gonna happen.
Well,
By the way,
I
remember
also
that
have a bet right now with free Metroid hat as well. I didn't forget about that one, buddy.
Nate, remember that rumor from that guy on Twitter that covers PlayStation saying that Switch 2 was going to be
Tech.
in January?
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And you asked him like, "Hey, what about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's what I heard."
Yeah, he said that's the last I heard. No, he said that back in December, but he acted like he didn't get updated on it. So I have no idea.
Why
It
was
always
that
funny.
considered credible though in the first place?
This month, so like I don't know.
Didn't Tommy Bear Knows say the direct's February 7th? That's what he said, right?
Yes.
Can't wait for next week.
Oh, why was that rumor even considered credible in the first place though? Is my question.
It wasn't.
It wasn't, yeah. But he's so
It
annoying
wasn't?
about it.
No, it was.
Oh.
He was very annoying about it. So I threw out the video, and then he's been literally.
I think
he's been
that
hitting
the
my
only reason that
DM
they took off
like
at all
a
is because
jaded
like people were
ex
like,
who realizes she made a big
it can't be
mistake.
Valentine's Day, and we think it's going to be in February. So that was like one of 3 possible dates. So it had a little bit of build up just from that.
Plus, like
That
the
makes
last two happened like right after the investors meeting. So like,
So the last
It's
2
a
years,
very
first
easy
full
guess.
week of the month on a Wednesday, it's happened, and yeah, they're within a week of the Q3 earnings release. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. There's no guarantee anything's happening next week. Here's the deal. We'll know.
We don't know if it's gonna be
He'll
a
start tweeting out things. He'll start tweeting out things on Monday, and then you'll just know it's this week.
Well,
It's
if
just-
Piora starts tweeting tomorrow, Friday,
well,
he did that last.
he
last
did do
time.
that last time. Yeah.
He started early.
And this was just, we said this conversation was going to come back round. I vote for the Bricked Up podcast from the meme.
Let's go. People have spoken. There's no super chats for any other podcast name on the entire
It's
stream.
almost like they're already watching a podcast with a name. I don't know.
Yeah, no, feel free to prove me wrong, guys. Or donate more for the Bricked Up podcast. We all just take Viagra.
Just make it a
and
goal.
Oh,
Look,
boy.
someone drops a $500 one. Next week's episode will be renamed to the Bricked Up podcast. Oh gosh. This is the funny thing is someone does it. I actually have to do it. Shit. I shouldn't say that out loud. All right. Next. Jake Randall. He already did it, but I have to show it because I got to show all the super chats. He ate a banana. It was quite interesting as there was a very serious Metroid Prime 4 discussion going on. Meanwhile, we had a banana performance for the peanut gallery that doesn't like Metroid Prime 4. So.
And grapes, yes.
Wow,
That's right. He had the perfect combo.
You don't know if you don't like it until you play it, and it hasn't even been shown yet. So,
I mean, this happened already, but just to remind everyone, it did go deeper down his throat.
what is wrong with all the chats today?
It happens. I mean, look, just to remind you, we also got a little slow-mo banana eating as well. So Jake was putting on all the performances for the audience tonight. Early,
It was for a birthday. Come on.
Now we have an.
Well, you guys
actual
did have
question.
Review Tech USA on your podcast, right? So I think I understand what's going on.
No,
Little crossover
The
there.
funny thing is, the super
No
chats that
pickles.
night were kind of tame.
Yeah.
We had him and
Yeah, it was.
RGT and it was all going wild, but the super chats were so tame. I'm like, dude, we have all the people on here to go wild, and you guys are now keeping it clean. What is going on? Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, we have an actual question.
Birds.
This is for Super Mario Day 64. How certain are you with your Switch 2 AMD predictions compared to your old Switch 1 predictions?
I didn't make any.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
AMD
it's not a
prediction.
prediction.
I actually really annoyed by that because I saw people giving you flack on Twitter about this. Like, but wait, I saw his video. He brought up
Not a
2
prediction.
possibilities.
Yeah, there's no prediction there.
You know what? That gets me mad. That gets me like bricked up in anger because I just remember.
Oh, see, then
Oh, that- well,
Then he bricked up.
I just remembered and you bricked up.
Then he bricked
God.
up.
I mean, I guess though maybe you want to elaborate.
Wait, here,
a little bit more
let
on
me address that real quick. So
Yeah,
the difference is that I'm just being fair, and because what I brought out in my video is that they you guys should watch it, but the NVIDIA partnership is not actually official. It was just something that Jensen said. That he was hoping that they would continue for 2 decades with Nintendo. And I said in my video that I actually want them to continue with NVIDIA, but due to the uncertainty factor and there's questions behind this chip that's rumored for the Switch 2, that I'm going to go ahead and list another possible chip that could happen theoretically, but it's not like, I'm not saying it's like going to happen for sure. It's just like there's other chips that can do similar things to that chip that's rumored. And here's a possible outcome, and that's it.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Real
because-
quick, all of the beef that I wanted to say before my computer dies is that I went on your live stream, Andres, and I was chatting, and I was keeping it clean, and you completely ignored me. And you were just yelling about how you got too angry at people that leave mean comments.
So you were there at the beginning.
Yes.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
All right.
If you stuck around, I would have saw you eventually.
I don't know about that.
The lack of attention. See, he didn't get the attention he needs, and he left his stream.
Hey, man. I'm sorry I didn't get to your chat.
What
I
are we
was
just- are we just
I was
starting
literally
drama
bricked
because
up
of
in
one
anger.
question?
I was so
No.
mad and so hard. Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
God.
It's wild. But thank you for stopping by. I'm glad I could
Welcome.
entertain you for
Yeah.
a little bit before you got extremely angry and hard.
No, I
Um,
couldn't.
yeah.
I couldn't watch that long, but it was. I never see you streaming, so it was cool for a second.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for whatever chip they
Yeah,
use.
whatever
It's,
the
it's
hell
all
this
good
is, yeah.
as long as it gets the job done. But I
Yeah.
love talking tech on my
All
channel.
matters.
I love talking about the possibilities and speculation on stuff. And
Yep.
and that video has 31,000 views. I mean,
Yeah.
and
If,
people are
if
interested too.
nothing else, that video is showing, I think, growth from Dave from back in those early days of the
And that was
Switch.
That was 8 years ago.
Yeah, like
it's
Dave's already
insane.
copped to the mistakes back then, and you know we
Yeah.
all make mistakes. So like the important thing is when that opportunity comes back around again, which it now with new hardware, learn from it and don't like make statements of something that you don't actually know 100% for sure. Predictions or just guesses. Like we're just putting possibilities into the universe. They're like, look, predictions are what they are, by the way. Predictions aren't facts either.
Right.
Like it's just, hey, what was the whole damn Nintendo Direct bingo? It's a bunch of predictions on things that probably won't happen or might happen, right?
We don't know.
So same thing with the Switch users. I actually watched his entire video. The only I left one comment. I don't know if you saw it. There's so many comments on your video. Probably
I didn't see it. Sorry.
Oh
Like,
man,
you know,
did you get angry and hard because he didn't see
I
your
got
comment?
angry. I had to correct him on one thing. Just one thing. I got so mad towards the end.
Really? What did I say?
No. It was just one thing. You said that IPS panels have better black levels. VA panels actually have better black levels than IPS. IPS have better viewing angles and colors.
Do you guys
I
know
don't know
that
if you
meme?
just misspoke at the time, but it was just a random statement you threw out while you were
Oh,
going.
that was just something I didn't actually look that up myself. I just stated that because I noticed it from the Steam Deck, because I've
From
seen
the
the
Steam
Steam Deck
Deck.
versus the Switch
Sure.
regular version,
Yeah.
and it had better black levels from my
It's just a
my
better
own
panel.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's just a better screen, but it's
just a
not
better-
it's an
panel.
IPS. So
Yeah.
but hey, everyone knows that IPS is better than regular LCD. That's
Oh yeah,
basically the point. of what I was
better
saying.
colors, better viewing angles. It is massively preferred. But
Fox
we
and
said that, I
Ivy.
was like, I still think he looked
Happy birthday! You're leaving. You're leaving the podcast.
Panels have are black levels.
Trying to say happy birthday to you.
You
before
got
go.
me. You
No,
got
you're
me.
not.
man.
You're not allowed to talk, Jake, anymore. I'm just kidding.
No,
I
let
am-
me.
We're kind of on the
Fox is
subject.
leaving, and I'm just trying to say happy birthday because it's officially their birthday in 35 minutes. So happy birthday!
Fox and Ivy. There we go.
Thank you.
Happy
That's all I'm
birthday.
trying to do here.
Oh,
I'm keeping
we're
it clean. I am
trying to get
keeping
out
it
there.
clean.
You
There
know,
was some-
Fox
wanted
and
to
Ivy, I
talk
actually
about
saw you
that.
in one of my streams without Jake present. So I appreciate that you're starting to warm up to old Prime over here. I know I can't replace him. There's no replacement for the 2-inch destroyer. But I appreciate seeing you around without the
World
2-inch.
Guinness record.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But noticing, it was just like one stream, but hey, it got to start somewhere.
I want to go back to the kind of Nvidia stuff because
Sure.
it like I found it interesting. You suggested the possibility, right? I am operating on the assumption that it is going to be Nvidia, but I think it's worth noting
Sure.
that we don't know for a fact.
Yeah, it's
right?
not like we know the contract details.
Yeah,
or anything at
and
all.
so what's interesting though is that when we've kind of like looking at what we heard about like the different the DLSS features. Now, they've been saying DLSS stuff, right? Like the hates of the world and such. And so that's like the Nvidia implication because they're behind that technology. But what's interesting, right, is that there's been a lot of talk about there not being frame generation, right? And so like I've made videos on this. People say I don't do my research, but I literally watch what Nvidia says and I take what they're literally telling me, right? Not what I'm seeing on a random message board. And so there's, you have your DLS 2.0, right? And that's just, that improves, that's the super sampling, right? Improves the resolution. But then at 3, you're
Nicole's so
getting
happy right now, by
the
way. I
frame
just wanna note
generation,
his
right?
smile.
And then 3.5 is the ray reconstruction, right? Which is for ray tracing. But when we've heard the discussions about frame generation, right? Because they have if they have ray tracing, they would imply that they have the most advanced version of DLSS, which would also, in theory, they could do frame generation. But all people who talk about this say that frame generation is probably not there. And so when I think about that, and then kind of consider what you were talking about in your video, right? How maybe we're looking at something more customized, right? Like maybe it's not even just like using like we might be looking at something like very customized, right? That's not necessarily literally what we're seeing NVIDIA report about with their own like different versions of DLSS. It might be something in between.
There's a patent that Intel's working on for their own AI upscaling, right? And they're hiring for machine learning as well, like I brought out in the video. So if they're hiring for machine learning with these customized APIs to do their own upscaling, they wouldn't have to do that if it was DLSS. It's just it's not necessary to spend the money on hiring people to do that. So I'm just putting it out there that I can't ignore those types of things when I do tech videos, because it bothers me. Just like with Nate, bothered him about my blocks level.
Yeah, it was just such a minor
LCD comment.
It was such a
But
minor thing.
it's the same thing. When I see stuff like that, I got to bring it up as a possibility because no one else does. If I feel like I need to bring these things up as possibilities, just because it's a tech thing where people are you're looking to see what Nintendo's doing, and when things don't line up, I like to question what's going on. But
almost like the catchphrase you had, think for yourself.
Yeah, I have all the links in the description. Nothing I said in there was like, I wasn't like making things up,
No,
right. You also didn't say you believe it's AMD, right? Like I saw people on social media saying, "Oh, Dave's talking about AMD again." Like, I don't know if that doesn't. I saw your video.
Didn't watch.
It's just a prior reputation thing from the Switch 1, and people just get annoyed he brought it up.
That was such a long
everyone's
time
been
ago.
saying NVIDIA.
Well, that's probably why. By the way, guys, that's probably why no one wants to talk about anything else but NVIDIA, even when there is legitimate questions to be raised because of that, because of me back in the day. They don't want to be labeled as someone who went against the NVIDIA narrative. But I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about possibilities, and it's fair to do that. By the way, that's the mistake I made back in 2016 by not entertaining NVIDIA. I went only with AMD. That was a big mistake. So by not entertaining anything else but NVIDIA, I think is also a mistake, because you're putting yourself in a corner in case Nintendo changes their mind. There's no reason to do that.
What this actually is, like when we actually see like hard evidence. So I think another interesting part to this, right? Because if you like take, for example, Nate the Hate is Gospel, right? Then you kind of have to assume it's NVIDIA, right? Because he's talked about DLSS. You would assume, but maybe there's some room for misinterpretation there potentially. But then also, even the best of insiders,
He wasn't the only one that said that. That was brought up also by Andy Robinson and pretty much everyone who had sources.
The most popular, right? But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I guess they've been wrong before, right? It doesn't mean they're not coming from a place of validity, but there are things that have been off. So,
he's definitely been wrong. That's for sure.
Yeah,
they all have at some point,
right? And so I still think it's definitely.
If comes out and tells me NVIDIA Switch 2, I'm just gonna go, well, shit. All right then.
But I guess the important point here, right, is that even if like we think it's going to be one thing, we're never 100% certain.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about possibilities. Like I
have an RTX 4090. Like NVIDIA is by far the best choice. But is it the choice that they actually are making? That's the question, because there is legit questions I bring up in that video that kind of like could bring some doubt. But I would actually prefer the NVIDIA chip, because they have the absolute best upscaling technology that there is. AMD, sadly, is always a couple steps behind these days.
One thing you didn't bring up in your video, at least I don't remember it being brought up, is at one point I thought that NVIDIA just wouldn't really let the contract go, because it's like they're only in, like if you look at all these portable PCs, they're all AMD, they're all AMD, they're all AMD. Every now and then you might find an Intel, but then it's still got an AMD GPU. They're like, oh, well, we're not going to let this go because this is our into the mobile gaming space, the handheld gaming space, by just saying, hey, we failed on our own, but with Nintendo, look, 140 plus million systems sold. This is insane, and that wasn't even designed for them. Now we have a custom one. We don't let that go. NVIDIA did this thing at their last major presentation where all they said is the future of NVIDIA is about AI. And that made me start going, maybe they just don't give a shit, because they don't view what Nintendo's doing as their future anyways.
They're making more money in AI now than they are in their PC GPU sales. Have you seen their earning reports?
Yeah.
It's skyrocketed. It's like they made like 8 billion on AI and like 2 billion on PC, like drastically changed for them. But yeah, I only brought that up in the video because there is no factually public statement from NVIDIA or Nintendo that there is a 20-year partnership. There is a partnership for the Switch that we know that for 100% sure.
and I think,
but as
didn't
far
they
as
say
like
10-year with that one originally,
Yeah, I thought it was a 10-year plan, but the thing is, Switch could go on for 10
but
years.
Switch, that could just be Switch. They
that,
literally
yeah,
could just
well,
be-
I mean, the Switch will be around for 10 years.
yeah. That
Basically.
literally could just be Switch. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all it is, guys. It's just something that you know, when you hear things reported and like, oh, Nintendo has a partnership with NVIDIA for 20 years. Well, they don't. It had never actually been confirmed. That's just hearsay. When you look at the actual statement from
It was
Jensen,
more like a stated desire.
exactly. So that's all I wanted to bring out because if people assume that it's a locked partnership, that's actually a bad move by any company to lock themselves in for 20 years with a company like that. Because if they're not, if they change their mindset as a company and want to focus on AI like they're doing, maybe their goals are not in line with the company after 10 years. Maybe they have different goals. That applies for any company out there. That's why whenever there's a new hardware released by any company, it's usually a case-by-case basis to see and shop around what vendor is making what fits their needs for that particular product. So yeah.
No, we'll see what happens. I mean, I mean, I venture to guess even when the thing's announced, we still might not know because Nintendo doesn't like to go into the tech. It's not something they do unless you literally see them use like a term DLSS upscaling to talk about. Okay, fine, then obviously we know that's NVIDIA. But if we, it's kind of like they're using FSR, but you never really hear them talk about FSR. It's just something they use.
Exactly.
So like Nintendo, but we also have a new president and we don't know what he's going to market. And if it's super iterative and one of the selling points is how much better the games are going to look and perform, then maybe he does talk about specs. We don't know. That's the one thing with the new president is we don't really know what his marketing strategy is going to be for this. So we'll know eventually what it is, obviously. But
the bottom line is that in my video is that the actual performance range is what I'm most concerned about. Not necessarily
which company is the tech behind it. Yeah,
that's not important necessarily. I like to discuss the possibilities. That's why I brought it up of what chip it could possibly be. But the most important thing that we got to worry about as fans of Nintendo and consumers is what its actual performance is for the games. So is it 3 teraflops, Doc? Is it up to 5? Is it 1.5?
You know what?
Portable?
Like
that's
really
what we got to worry about the most.
Eats at me because it seems like this. Everyone on the internet kind of is like, oh yeah, so all the rumors say it's like a PS4, and I feel like that is just so misleading and just
short-sighted.
I'm getting angry.
I mean, we have according to Universal Nintendo, yes, the the teraflops for portable mode are comparable, but also that's portable mode. That's not dock mode, which is vastly different, and also that's not accounting for all the new bells and whistles, how technology is now versus the past, and maybe DLSS features and things of that nature, right? So, like saying, oh, it's basically like a PS4 is just extremely misleading, in my opinion, from what we've heard. And so it just eats at me whenever it's a cross. Like I hear it and see it everywhere.
That's why I brought that up in my video too. Like the PS4 is 2013 technology, and it's not mobile based. Switch 2 in 2024, if it's around the same range in portable mode, or at least, or something, even 1.5, like I said, it's completely different. You can't even compare the performance at all because you're getting way more bang for your buck in 2024 versus 2013.
Yeah, it's vast.
So people should throw that comparison out the window.
I think basically, I think Switch is getting shown off in March. I hope I'm right. And then when that happens, we just know this whole PS4 discussion dies. But something I want to touch on. We touched on it earlier, but maybe I want to focus on because in the spirit of like discussing possibilities, right? Because I was actually getting a little bit of flack about the video I posted today. But I put a question in the thumbnail. I put 2 questions in the title. And I explained several times doubt and possibilities throughout. So I really don't feel like I misled or clickbait in any way. But basically, it's just asking the possibility, is there a Nintendo Direct next week with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD?
Oh, sure.
And literally the second part of the title is this too good to be true? And that's literally in the thumbnail. So how is that clickbait? I don't think it is. I think people are just
good question.
sour.
It's a discussion.
Right. and we have new evidence. And so I
Yeah.
want to get to I want to kind of focus on the evidence though, right? So I touched on your rumor about the because when you what Special Nick showed up during your
Oh
live
yeah,
stream,
special
right?
Nick. Yeah, yeah,
Right, and it lines up with what with the historical
Yeah.
precedent, right? So I thought it was worth mentioning.
yeah.
But
Totally.
the more interesting thing to me, and I saw this on Botox Games channel, right? I don't know if that was a first person, if he was a first person, but that's where I saw it. So I mentioned him. And so on GameStop, right, there are Amiibo restocks that are set for March 8th, right? One of them, it's 3 different ones. They're all Zelda. One's the Sheik Amiibo from Smash Brothers. Another is the Guardian Amiibo from Breath of the Wild. And then another is Wolf Link from Twilight Princess.
Sure.
And so I found that interesting, especially when you also factor that we're getting the Zelda concert next week as well. And so I'm seeing these different Zelda things pop up. We have the looming Zelda Lego thing. We don't know when that's going to be announced, right? But that's been leaked like twice already, or leaked and then rumored, but whatever. And so it just has me thinking. But the real sticking point to me is that Wolf Link Amiibo, because that was an Amiibo launched for the Twilight Princess back on the Wii U 8 years ago, and now they're restocking on it. Yes, you could technically use it for Breath of the Wild, but it's just a little peculiar to me.
Sure.
And the other thing is that there's a reason there's a correlation with Amiibo restocks and games coming out and announcements. It's because when there's announcements and there's a pre-order that opens up, or there's a game that comes out, what happens? People go into stores to make the pre-orders or to buy the games that come out. And so releasing more peripherals and Amiibos, they then buy them. That's why we see these restocks correlate to actual some type of like game news or something. And so is there something worthy of note happening on March 8th? I don't know, but I think the Wolf Link thing is really curious.
I don't know. Ooh, we had another super chat.
I think those games are just in Nintendo's back pocket to confirm it. Honestly,
Right, so it could happen. They could drop them at any point, right?
yeah.
And so like
they could be shadow dropped.
Yeah,
and
this
so if
was-
this is like the last direct before Switch 2, maybe this is the right time to do it.
No, the Andrew Brightwell said for $5, the chances of anything Zelda related to the next direct, whenever it may be, really, really. Oh, the Ocarina of Time remake.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
I
like the
think
pipe dream.
Right.
what
Yeah, but I guess
doesn't want
so.
that.
I've made a lot of videos about it, right? And this is another one of my pet peeves. There are rumors about Ocarina of Time remake, but I feel like they're not really strong, right? Or there were some a couple of years ago,
I wouldn't say there's anything strong. No.
right? But I do think it's a really good theory, right? It's why I predict it, because we look at all the interviews from Enuma.
Sure.
It like quotes from Enuma, right? That's not a rumor.
I love the Enoma quotes.
That's evidence. It doesn't prove it, but it supports the theory, right? And so I don't like referring to it as a rumor. But I'll tell you, the idea behind it is, if you just look at it historically, Nintendo, when they close out a generation with a big Zelda game, they like to open up the next generation with some type of repurposed Zelda game to bring in that Zelda fan base, have something that showcases the system. And so that's part of why I've been on the Ocarina of Time remake hype train. But with that in mind, that means it would be coming for Switch 2. And so I wouldn't expect an Ocarina of Time remake to be shown in this direct, because I don't think this direct will have anything to do with Switch 2. And I also think it would probably not even be a launch title. Like maybe first year and a half. So that's why I've been kind of like maybe 2025. But I'm not prepared for this theoretical remake to happen in a direct this month. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to that, but
I think you covered it, man.
very good. Appreciate that.
And this is a great time for Nate to step away.
Well, I mean, we could continue talking. I mean, actually, Dave,
I gotta get going though. I honestly,
Okay.
it's getting late for me, but
Sure.
but yeah. So I need to get going, but I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
And,
good to meet you, Dave.
yeah, nice to meet you too, buddy. I heard about your health issues. I'm glad you're doing better these days.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no, I really am doing a lot better. That's really nice of you to say. Thank you.
Good. All right, man. Well, you guys take care, and I will see you soon. All
All
right.
right. Bye, man.
Bye-bye.
Want to know
And there
what part
were
of my
3.
anatomy isn't having health issues?
Oh boy.
All
The
right,
part that's bricked up.
bricked up, baby.
Oh boy.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Bricked Up Podcast.
Eric,
I'm
is there
your
a way
host.
we can
I'm your host,
share?
Bricked Up Boy.
Oh yeah, I can share something.
Oh no!
What?
I
You want
think
to
I
share
saw
something related to the
Eric
topic?
was able to
Feel free.
share Dave's channel in the chat.
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
people can make sure to
Oh, I did.
subscribe.
I did.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. All right.
What were you gonna
Uh,
share, Eric? I'm really curious.
Oh,
now.
nothing. No, Andre said something.
No,
about
no, I
sharing
was
something,
just
so,
suggesting if Eric
I did.
could share, and he did. I saw in the live chat.
Super Metal
Oh.
Dave's channel.
Oh
Where-
yeah, guys,
Right,
go
because he was
subscribe to
leaving.
Super Metal Dave.
I mean, it's in the
Exactly.
description too, but
His content will get you bricked up. I'm not gonna lie.
it's in the description too. But I threw that in chat too. So
I like it when me and Andres look at each other.
Are we sure?
Oh
You
Lord.
sure I'm looking?
Oh Lord.
I am.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
smell
I mean-
Andres real quick.
Oh God. Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord. Nate, it's getting weird in here. I
Wait.
mean, it's past weird, but
Okay then. Well,
You literally left as Dave was
Yeah.
stepping out.
well, it happened. I had to go to the bathroom. Well, that's all right. We're gonna wrap up the show here. For starters, you guys should go check out
We
our
can
the two
continue
guests we
that.
had. It's okay. Okay, you guys should go check out the two guests we had, HMK and Super Metal Dave. They are linked down below in the description. And then we'll just go to the other two that are here. Apparently, I don't understand Jake's name, but that's okay. He reads the chat like mad during the streams. It is what it is.
Eric
Jake.
can fill you in on the lore of that.
Okay, what do you got going on? Where can they find you?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh.
You're the one
You
named
can find
Jake.
me YouTube, Twitter, Jake Randall, onlyfans.com/2inch destroyer.
Awesome.
Not much going on right now, to be honest, but if you like getting bricked up,
Jesus.
it's my number one goal.
All
It's
right.
because I care about people, dude. That's like a great feeling, and I want people to feel good. Sorry.
Get bricked up. I'll just restart. What do you got going on? Where can they find you?
Jake, you are a model citizen.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm pretty good. Yeah, I talk about Nintendo stuff in case you didn't know. So it's pretty much every day. Andres Restart, Nintendo news and theories, analysis. That's what I do. Today we talked about maybe we'll finally see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in a direct next week. Is that for sure? No, it is not for sure. It's never for sure until it happens. But there have been interesting happenings. And tomorrow, what are we talking about? I don't know, but I'm smelling some Switch 2 vibes. So
You Switch 2 vibes tomorrow, huh?
yeah.
I'm
Maybe.
I
It
have a
depends.
couple topics in mind for tomorrow.
I got a whiteboard. I got topics.
They're not.
I kind of have like
write them down before I forget.
yeah. So like the way I work, right? I have like several topics in mind, but depending on what happens throughout the week with news, that topics get pushed or updated, or just straight up cut, depending on the circumstances, because news might give me new topics to discuss. So
Happens.
yeah. But so maybe Switch 2 tomorrow, but maybe something happens that's even more interesting. We'll see.
All right. How do you do?
The Switch 2-inch destroyer.
So what have we got? What do we got going on? Morewood, please.
oh God, I don't know. I'm here. That's pretty much it. I'm
Oh, hey, Eric, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I don't choose it.
I was the one. That,
He's the
Oh,
one.
you did? I like that name.
So,
I like that.
yeah.
it took you this long to notice. It happens.
Thank
It's
you
all
for
right.
reading it because I really liked it. I would have been sad if I didn't hear that.
And you guys know where to find Nintendo Prime. If you don't listen to the audio version, go ahead and check out Nintendo Prime. Just literally Google it. We're everywhere. Mostly YouTube is what it is. Also, I just got to remind everyone, for all the predictions that we were debating, whether it's good or not or bad, or are you jumping on the Milwaukee Bucks will win the 2023-2024 championship.
Ah.
Just predicted right now.
That's your bingo card right there.
That's the bingo card.
Just
All
predicting
right,
that right
stay
now.
bricked up, everybody.
Yep. Catch you guys later. Let's go ahead and do we have an editor? No, we do not. Damn it. Drop the outro.